Back to the Rockford Ordinance. Here we go again, another week. And first and foremost, I want to apologize for last week. We just had a lot going on. We put our dog down that day. They got these new services come out to your house. And thank God they do because, man, these big dogs, they're kind of heavy, especially when they're dead weight, no pun intended. But somebody said, I hope we're doing okay. We're doing fine. It's not that I'm heartless or anything, but some dogs you bond with, some you don't. I liked him. He was a good dog. We had him a long time. He was good enough. Everything was fine. Just for whatever reason, didn't bond as well with that one as some of my others that I'll miss a lot more. But that was my wife's baby, and she was pretty upset over it. So got to come home, take care of her, and help get her through all that. And she's doing good, much better than I thought she would. So that's good. And by the time we got all done and the vet left and everything else, I went, oh, and sorry, I apologize, guys. But we had been putting it off because he was doing okay. And it finally got to a point where we said, we got to do something. So we did. I'm glad it's behind us, and everybody's doing good, and the rest of the herd is doing all right. We still got the big old English Mastiff. That's my baby, and she's doing well. She's getting up there, though, too. She's 10, and that's old for a Mastiff, pushing 11. And then we've got a Chihuahua that he's just cooler than hell. He puts a smile on my face every day. And then we've got a Great Pyrenees. It's a mix of Pit Bull and Great Pyrenees. She's small and she's a sweetheart too. So that was my son's dog. And she's growing on me every day. So that's that. Anyhow, well, welcome back to Rockford Ordinance. We're going to talk AKs. We're going to talk ammo. I know a lot of you guys were talking ammo here in the chat. I was kind of peeking in, spying on you guys there for a little while, last couple minutes. And we got a blade of the week. We got a couple new things we got working this week. We got a new reloading press. If you guys saw the little post I put up, we got that up and running this week. So I'm going to go through that with you guys, give you a little sneak preview before I do a video on it. I love it, but it's changing up a whole lot of stuff. 7.62x39 with some of these ammo prices. Yeah, we'll go through some current events and all kinds of good stuff. I got a lot. Hey, we got 2 weeks to catch up on, right? Maybe we'll do a 4-hour one tonight. No. I'm not going to do that to you guys. Anyhow. So how is everybody doing here? Let's see who's in here, and then we'll get right to it. Joe, of course, Joe was jonesing, man. He didn't have his fix last week, and he got in here early. As usual, Tommy Guns. Hi, Tommy. How are you? Hope you're doing well. You guys were talking a lot about ammo in here and some of the prices. Hattori Hanzo's in the house. Archie Al. He needs to phonetically spell that, or she needs to phonetically spell that out for me so I know how to pronounce it. MZ's here. True American Loretta, good to see you. Dixie Living, of course. How's it going? Squeaky Cooler. Gabriel Buddhist III. What's up to you, brother? And number one, Big Bear made it in. He can comment too. What do you know? Everything's working. Man, things are going good. That means something's going to turn it into a shit show real quick. Arcale. Okay. Or just say Arc. I like Arc. It's like mine somehow got shortened to Rock, right? But I like Rock. That's kind of good. And now we use it. So that's cool. And it'll be in the t-shirts too. that are coming along, but they're going to be at least a month because I get some stuff. Real quick, we're not going to be here next week. I know. We're not going to be here next week. I got some stuff going on. Maybe I'll sneak one in if I can. We'll see. But I got a lot going on, so I'm just going to tell you now. Just figure next week is off. But anyhow, that is that. So we got a bunch of the regulars in the house. Hopefully, we got some more people joining here. I think I'm going backwards instead of forwards. Maybe I should promote, a theme or something instead of this just talk about things. But I mean, I usually have a setup of what we're going to talk about, but I don't know. I promote it a little different. So let's see. Squeaky says, was watching Brandon Herrera's latest video shooting black powder. Hey, I shot a black powder competition. Did I tell you about it? I don't know. I don't think you guys have seen me since I did that. So remind me. I'll tell you what happened. It was so much fun. I'm so glad I did it. He was shooting black powder revolvers before coming on here. Got me thinking about getting back into some of that again. Been a while. Man, you must have read my mind. I mean, we had a blast, and I like Flint Locks. If I'm going to do it, I'm going all the way. And I learned a lot. I shot more rounds of black powder in that Sunday competition than all the rounds I've shot total out of it ever. Usually it's shoot a couple rounds off the back deck or something, hit a couple cans, or I shoot at the fire pit or something, and put it away. And if any of you know about black powder, it's hardly worth it because you got to clean everything and do everything, even if you're using a black powder substitute, because it can corrode a gun into garbage really quick. It'll rust everything to hell. And on the Flint Locks, so for those of, I wasn't planning on starting with this, but we'll get out of the way. So if you're familiar with Flint Locks, I wonder if I could show them on here, because technically they're not considered a firearm by the federal government, the ATF, anybody. They can ship straight to your door, with the exception maybe of some inlines, I think. I don't know. I haven't kept up on it, but I do know that black powder guns, you don't need any type of background check. For those of you in states like Illinois with a a FOID card, you don't need one of those. You can build one. You can do it. Yeah, I wonder if will we have to serialize those? Maybe Papa Joe forgot all about those, huh? Maybe we should serialize them. We got hey, would it be like a pirate ship thing, like a ghost pirate gun kind of? Maybe, huh? I don't know. Let me tell you something. I should have started this out by saying, hey guys, you're not going to believe it. I shot a 50 cal this weekend. The original 50 cal. They want to outlaw 50 cals, but yet I can order them right to my door. Lots of bullets, everything, and shoot them all I want. I don't even know if regular firearm laws apply. If you shoot it in a neighborhood, it's not a firearm. You're not discharging a firearm. Maybe that's a good, getting critters like chipmunks and pests, things like that, just blast away in your yard under the deck with a 50 cal and a cloud of smoke. You'll never know if you hit them. Anyhow, so I got into black powder. My father-in-law was big into black powder. He loved, he's still alive. I sound like he's not here, but he's just not here. He was into all things the Old West, Indian culture and weapons and all of that. And over the last couple of years, he's given a ton of his collection to me. Just wants it passed on. And he had a huge den, and it was all displayed. I've got original bow and arrows. I've got tomahawks, and I'm not talking reproductions. I'm talking original expensive pieces. Breastplates and war bonnets and pouches and leather bags and buffalo leather stuff, and you name it, I got it. Some of it I don't even know what it is. Crazy. Anyhow, he always had black powder pistols around, old Remingtons and Navies and Smith and Wessons, all kinds of stuff. Lots of lever action guns and just cool stuff. But when I took a liking to black powder, copy of a Remington. And I won't go into how you tell the difference between them all, but it was a break action, not break, but you could take the barrel off it, take the cylinder off, and built into the frame was a little rod. You could tamp the load down and everything with the ramrod that was built in. But it was a cheap copy, like chrome plated, and it would get out of time and things. And I was determined to fix this. And for months, I worked on this gun. He'd come over, be in pieces, or I'd be filing or doing something. And he was just amazed at how I went at this thing, right? Like I was going to fix it. It was a mission I was on. Well, I still got that pistol. It's here somewhere. I think I know exactly where it is in the safe. It works. I got it working. It's not the most reliable, but it works. We've got some original Colt black powders. I've got a pocket police in 38 caliber that's or 36. That's really cool. My daughter loved to shoot it, so I'd get that out all the time and shoot it. And when we said we really wanted to get into it, and my son wanted to, he shows up one day with 3 Thompson center boxes, and he, the gentleman that managed our manufacturing plant in Wisconsin, knew this old gun dealer up there, and this is a cool story in itself. This little hardware store slash gun shop in middle Wisconsin had an FFL there, this older gentleman, that when things would come up over the years and he thought they were neat, he'd just buy a buttload of them and he'd sell some. And then there'd always be, I'm not talking one, but 2, 3, 4, 6 of them he'd just put away down in the basement under the store, right? So as years went on, if you came in with a strange request and you knew him and were a good customer, he'd say, I seem to remember something like that. Hold on a minute. He'd go down the basement and he'd come up with, like I said, not one, but like 3 to choose from of the same model, I mean, rare stuff. And rarely would he ever really jack the prices on you. So if you were looking for something, and you were, a good, decent customer, he'd take good care of you. So he sent this gentleman that managed our plant for almost 50 years on a mission. And he said, I want some neat black powders, one for me, one for my son-in-law, and one for my grandson. He brought him over one Sunday and said, take your pick. Picked out a Thompson Center. It's called a Pennsylvania Hunter, and it's 50 cal, Flint Lock, octagon barrel, super heavy barrel, straight stock. When you think Pennsylvania, you're probably thinking like a Kentucky long rifle or something like that, but it's more like a Hawken rifle without all the brass. Okay. I wanted a Hawken. That's what I wanted. Hawken to me is the quintessential. I like the mountain man portion of it. And we've been to a couple of mountain man rendezvous with our buddy Jake, Too Fat Tactical. We go every year. There's one called Bloody Lake Rendezvous. And it's in Wisconsin. I think it's Wisconsin. It's so close to the border that when we're heading south, I think we might pass in Illinois. I'm not sure. It's by Monroe, Wisconsin. Really cool. And they camp out for the week in the original period tents. They all wear period garb. They're shooting competitions. They cook over open fires with all the period cookware and utensils. There's a blacksmith there making it all if you want to buy it. Some of these tents are outfitted with feather beds, and like a general would carry his entire thing with them, and they'd set them up in a tent. It was more like a house. They've got the whole thing. I mean, it's incredible. And there's people doing crafts and weaving, and you can buy all this stuff, and it's just so much fun. Anyhow, got this Pennsylvania Hunter rifle, 50 cal, Flint Lock, Lego Hawken, octagon barrel. Barrel weighs a ton. It's awesome. My father-in-law took one that's just like it, but it's like a modernized version, a little lighter. It's got rifle slings, studs, so you can hunt with it. It's almost identical to mine, except round barrel instead of fluted. And it's got fiber optic sights, and it's a cap lock. So you either got a flint lock, which is the old piece of flint that strikes the frizzen and scrapes and makes sparks, throws it into a pan, lights the 4F real fine black powder that's in the pan, that goes through the flash hole, lights the main charge, kaboom, pushes the bullet and patch out the end, big cloud of smoke and fire. And when it all clears, you hope whatever you were shooting at is laying on the ground. The whole process takes about 72 seconds. No, I'm kidding. It seems that long when that big flash happens in your face. Your eyelashes and eyebrows are on fire, a few flames coming up, big black circle on your face, and you got to hold still while it's burning, and your eyelashes are searing off and dripping down. And finally, when it goes kaboom, you can finally put it all out and then look and see what happened. And hopefully, through all the smoke, pain, flames, everything, you held that target, your sight on target through it all. It's a little tougher to do than the cap lock. Trust me on that. I found out just how hard in that competition. My son took what sort of looks like a lever action, but it's called a Thompson Center Scout. And it was a little smaller, so it fit his frame at the time and all. His is a 44. One of them's a 44 and the other one's a 50. I don't remember what. His is a cap lock, but it was one of the first inline, meaning it didn't have a side lock that had to put the spark to the side of the barrel. It went right in the back, similar to having a primer today. Looking back now and talking to some guys at this black powder event, it's a pretty desirable gun. Thompson Center quit making guns, I think 2012, black powder guns, somewhere around 2012, I believe. And they're really, really nice guns. It's a shame you can't get them anymore. There's nobody that I know of that's making them like that in the commercial sense, where they're pumping out finished guns. There's the Lyman Great Plains rifles and so they make a Hawk and some other stuff, and they make kits you can put together, which I may do. That's kind of cool if they haven't outlawed that too. We'll see. But if you haven't done it, it's really fun. Couple videos and you're up in business. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. The cool thing is, with rare exception, to blow yourself up, I I shoot usually about a 70 grain load of 2F Pyrex out of it. But I use real black powder 4F, which is real fine in the pan. Pyrex does not take a spark well. You can cock it, click, cock it, click, cock it, click 20 times, and maybe you'll finally get Pyrex to light. But 4F always lights darn near. It's just a real fine black powder. It's getting harder and harder to find black powder. They never really regulated it, but you do have to sign your name now on some ATF form and different things. But there's also a lot of videos out there about making black powder, and I've watched some of them, and it's involved, but not terribly complicated. I don't think it's that dangerous. I mean, there's danger in everything, but a couple parts of the process, especially if you're pressing it on a 12-ton press, might get a little spooky. But yeah, not too bad. But anyhow, I went to this competition, didn't know nothing about it. It was where you see me do most of my videos. We had went or been at the open house there a year before, and an old timer grabbed us. He was shooting a rolling block, like a Quigley Down Under gun, 45-70. And man, this thing was just so cool. When that thing went off, everybody on the line turned and looked, and this huge they don't go, it's not like a modern rifle with the crack, it's a boom, and just so cool. So we got to talking to him. He invited us. I got the phone call. We went out. I was a little late, got there. He said, load up, start shooting. 5 shots, first target. We were shooting at 25 yards. You think, God, big deal, freestanding. It's no big deal till, like I said, you got to fire that Flint lock, and the big explosion about 1.5 inches from your eye happens, and you got to hold still and keep it on target. You're shooting at a crow target, about this big, this crow. And I put one above his back, one under his neck, and didn't hit crap for points on that one. There was another target I hit once. I got a point for that. There was a deer I hit above his neck and under his chest. No points for that. There was a little circle target, 5 shots, didn't hit any, all around it. And then there was a final target about yay big, and it was a timed match. So you got 15 minutes to fire as many shots as you could. Once you hit 5, you could stop, or you could keep going if you didn't have 5 yet. But if you ended up with 6 on the target, they took away, I forget, they took away the high and the low, or low and a high, or something. I forget. Anyhow, after the whole thing was said and done, I took 8th place after never shooting a match ever in my life. Never shooting more than a couple balls. But yeah, 8 out of 9. It wasn't too bad. At least I didn't take last. I don't know how I didn't take last. I think they just gave it to me somehow. I got 1 point in the whole thing. Granted, I believe all of them were shooting cap locks. There might have been a Flint. I thought I would have seen it, though. I'm pretty sure they were all cap locks. And these guys got the boxes and the rigs, and they got the pre-weighed charges. And I'm using an old powder horn, and then the powder horn jams. So I'm just kind of putting it in. And yeah, I cranked one up really good, man. I had to have 120, 130 grains in there. She was a bit stout. But it was a lot of fun. My cousin showed up to see the end of it. He was laughing at me, but we were having a good time. It's something to see, something to do if you've never done it. It's very interesting. It gets back to the basics. It teaches you. There's a windage, right? Well, there's a little wind, not just the aiming. You got to know your load. Powder measures that you your main powder horn and fill that, and there's a predetermined amount that you put in there, and you dump it down the barrel. You never want to take the whole powder horn, stick that in there after you've had 5 shots off, because if it's still hot and you put that powder down there and it catches a spark and heads up the barrel and into that powder horn that holds a pound or two, not good. So you always want to fill it out of something other than your main powder horn. So at that rendezvous, I had bought these. They were handmade by a guy in a big mountain man costume. Looks like that was his only pair of clothes, and he had had it on for about 150 years. That's how they wear their buckskin. They just let it age, and people were just dirty back then. I mean, there weren't all that many chances to clean up, and they didn't have a drawer full of new clothes. And yeah, it's interesting to say the least. The smells had to be magnificent. But so I bought these little powder measures there, and they were made out of the tines of a deer antler. One's about, I should bring them down here next week. I'll bring them to show you. They're cool. They're deer tines, one's this big. They're hollowed out. One has a braid hanging off it made from cat gut and some beads and stuff, and the antlers carved all the way around. It's really ornate. The guy must have spent years making it, and I think he charged me $25 for the big one and $10 for a small one. The one holds about 35 grains of 2F, and the other one holds about 25 grains. So what's that? 30, 40, 50, about 60 grains. Yeah, that's not a bad charge in my gun. If I fill them, you know, heaping loads, it's about 70 grains. So that's not really a very time effective way to load your muzzle loader in a time competition. Having to fill one, dump it, grab the other one, fill that one. Then my powder horn stuck. Then I ran out of 4F because that's in another tiny little powder feeder thing to go in your pan. You press down on the tip, it releases a little bit into the reservoir tip. You push it down and it leaves a little in the pan there. And I learned a lot. You're ramming balls and you got to put a patch in there and ram the ball down. It's got to be seated on top of the powder. You don't want any air gap where you create essentially a pipe bomb, things like that. So when you're going fast and not all that experienced, you just do a lot of praying and hope everything goes okay. And the barrels are proof tested to about a double load, or triple load maybe, but very little danger of doing anything wrong. You just don't want to dry ball it. A lot of balling and reservoir tips and a lot of stuff going on. Maybe because they spend so much time alone, huh? But you can dry ball it when you're in a hurry. You can ram a patch and a ball down there and forget the powder. You pull the trigger, your pan goes off, poof, and nothing happens. And you try it again and you go poof, and oh man, now you got a ball and a patch rammed all the way down the barrel as tight as you can get it, and there's no way to get it out. So there's all kinds of little tools for that. There's this big ugly screw thing you put on your ramrod and you screw it into the lead ball and then you try and yank it out. Or you can pull your plug out of the side of the barrel, the flash hole. And if you can work the ball up a little or there's some room there, you can drop some powder in there and pack it in there and pack some more and get some more and then put it back in and put some in your pan and kind of try to get it to fire to move it down the barrel. I've done that before. It's just fun. Let's say that. A lot of fun. It was a great time. I took second to last, which if you're going to lose, you might as well lose big. And my cousin was telling everyone at Easter on Sunday that I got my ass whipped by a bunch of old men. And I mean old. They couldn't hear. Funny thing about old shooters, none of them can hear, even with their hearing aids. It's hysterical. I'm like, wonder if their choice of hobby led itself to this, because I've never seen that many hearing aids in one place and people yelling and screaming at each other at the top of their lungs just to hear each other. They had chili afterwards. We went up and talked with a lot of the guys. And when I say old, guys, I'm old already, but they're by no means in their heads or anything old. Everybody was having a good time and they shared a lot of good information. A lot of them said I shouldn't be shooting Pyrodex with black powder in the pan. Like that's a big no-no. Actually, I've watched a lot of people saying it's not, even some super well-respected people in the field, that 4F's the only way to go for the pan in one of those. But they all swear by real black powder. But GoX, the Swiss company, went out of business not too long ago, a few months ago. So that shortened supply and a lot of other stuff. Anyhow, it's amazing what those balls can do. I mean, we were shooting 25 yards and they were thwacking into the sand at 100. I had never sighted that rifle in. So I guess and every shot in my defense, that 8th place, trying to defend it if I can. Every shot I shot hit the target, and the biggest target was 12 by 12, and all the balls hit it. I just didn't get any points for them. Put it this way, if it was anything from the size of a coyote on up, it would have dropped, and dropped hard. So not too shabby for an old guy that's only shot a few of them into the sand with iron sights. And It was so much fun. I had a blast. I'm going to go do it again. It gives you a new appreciation. If you like processes, if you're a little OCD and you like all that kind of stuff, you'll have a ball. If you just like to load up mags and blast away and don't care anything about the process, it'll bore you to tears. But the history is cool. The guns are cool. You can make the guns. You can buy a kit, and with really very little no machining work really, but you can learn how to blue or brown a gun with chemicals at home and get a really nice job. You can finish a stock and learn how to do that. You can learn how to inlet, well, not truly inlet, but finish inlet the brass pieces and stuff in the stock. That's interesting to try. You can set sights and a lot of small gunsmithing duties that you may have never done but want to try. And for a couple $100, if you screw up the kit, who cares? You'll never screw it up bad enough to ruin it. It just won't look as nice as you wanted it to, but you will have a blast. Period correct was probably browning instead of bluing, and that's just another form of oxidation. Bluing is nothing more than rust. We'll get into some bluing. We'll show you guys how to blue one day, cold blue and hot blue, hopefully. I can show you. It's all in the prep work when it comes down to it, but browning is a really easy solution that can get very dark. And unless you're looking close under some pretty good light, you might not even know it's brown. But look at any old gun. A lot of old guns, especially those era guns, and browning was how they protected things. You brush a browning solution on. I forget what it, off the top of my head, what kind of, I think it's an acid or something that you brush on there. Super light coats, barely wet. And then you hang it somewhere with a lot of humidity. You could hang it out on the porch. You could hang it in the bathroom by the shower. Hang it in the garage. You can put it in a something you build with steam. You can use a small humidifier and a moving box and a heat lamp and do it. It'll come out looking all rusty and horrible. And then you use a carding brush or 4-aught steel wool and polish it down. And voila, there's your finish. And if it's not complete enough or dark enough, you put another coating on and do it again. And 3 or 4 coats will usually get you pretty close. And it makes a beautiful brown patina that protects really well. And you did it yourself, you know. I think everybody should build some type of black powder rifle pistol. Rifle's cool to do. Get a lineman kit and have a ton of fun. And they're really nice firearms when you're done. So I hope we're not lagging, guys. I hope not. Hope everybody's got their coffee or their other beverage. By the way, this week's episode is brought to you by, yes, we have a sponsor. Let me show you here, guys. It's not a sponsor. He doesn't give me anything. He doesn't pay me anything. I just think he's such a great guy that I want to help him out here. He's a family member. He's my cousin. And he's worked really hard at what he does, and he's very passionate about it, just like I am about firearms. He's passionate about his business. He loves it. It started out a hobby, became his business. He's also passionate about guns and firearms. I told you the last few episodes, you might have heard me talk about shooting with him, and he's whole hog in on the guns and reloading, and he's having so much fun, and I'm having a ton of fun hanging out with him. And we're both learning a lot. It's fun to be able to help somebody and teach them and move them along. I wish I had somebody that would have done more of that for me. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I had my dad taught me a ton. If it wasn't for my dad, none of this. I mean, you guys have seen some of my collection that came from him, and incredible. He had an eye for superb pieces. I could say there's a handful he picked that, God, you couldn't have picked rarer or better or cooler had you tried. Anyways, that's how he is. And he owned a company called Great River Brewing Company, and they were in Iowa. Uh, and I might get this wrong, but I think they were like Davenport area, Quad Cities. And they had a flood on the Mississippi a couple of years ago, and it wiped him out. Insurance didn't cover it. I've got pictures of him on the news and in the newspaper wearing waiters. It was a brewery and a restaurant. He was a brewer first. He's the brewmaster. He loves it. It's his passion. While he cares about the restaurant end of it, it's like, yeah, okay, get it done. He wants it good. Don't get me wrong, but he cares about the brewing. But I got pictures of him in the newspaper with waiters on, chest waiters, and the water's up to here, walking through his bar, past the bar and the bar stools, and everything's still there except this flood water is so high. And it was just so sad to see all these years of work. I mean, self-made guy did it himself, and with a friend, and just destroyed. And so many families and so many jobs, and they, there was some hope that insurance was going to come through, and some hope that somehow there so much was just condemned they couldn't use. I mean, even though it was like stainless steel tanks and stuff like that, the government says, sorry, and that's monster money, or things made out of copper. Think about forklifts and canning, and uh, it was a full-on brewery with a restaurant on the side. Anyhow, it ended up they lost everything, literally everything, and he supported his family any way he could, whether that was taking a landscaping job with a friend for a weekend, or hanging some siding with another friend, or whatever he had to do. That's kind of how people like us are, right? Nothing stops us. We figure it out one way or another. Good things happen and bad things happen. We hope more of the good. So, anyways, recently, and I don't know exactly how long, but let's say a year or two, maybe three, I don't know. They started same initials. Instead of Great River Brewing, it's now Great Revivalist Brewing Company. Kind of cool name, right after the flood. And so, Great River Brewing was uh, they were getting pretty big. I mean, they were in grocery stores in Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin. You could find it in bars, even where I was. It had a good name for itself and was going places. Now it's better than ever. He's branched out into not just craft beers, seltzers, soda. His soda. I don't drink much, guys, anymore at all. I can't deal anymore. It makes me feel like crap. I get too down. I got a pounding headache. But I love energy drinks. He makes energy drinks, and he brought me these a couple weeks ago. He said, "What should I bring to Easter?" I said, "Energy drinks. I want a case. I'll pay you for them, whatever." But he brought it, and it's Voltage Craft Energy by Great Revivalist Brewing Company. These are pretty cool. How appropriate. I'm gonna get it. Maybe he'll make me a signature drink, energy drink, because these black anodized cans, are those cool or what? That's not. Oh, it is a wrap. Wait, no, that's a wrap. The top is anodized or coated or something. But how cool would it be? Like Black Rifle Energy or AK Energy or something. I don't know. I'll have to talk to him. He's got a partner, and they're doing a lot of really cool stuff. Cocktails pre-mixed to go. I'm not sure if he's distilling. He might be, but a lot of good stuff. If you see the name or you happen to be, it's. I'm going to screw this up. I should have looked at this. And he tells me every time. I got a memory like a sieve. Um, Brewed and canned by Great Revivalist Brewing Company, Geneseo, Illinois. So it's right on the border. It's out by the Rock River Arsenal and all that cool stuff. So I'm going to go out and see him one of these days, and we're going to try to get to an auction there. We'll bring a video on that and all kinds of stuff. But when I tell you this stuff is good, I used to drink a lot of Monster because kids had the motocross and at the nationals thing, and they'd give us cases and cases. And then Red Bull, we had all kinds of stuff. I'm a Red Bull Peach Red Bull fan. That is my favorite thing on the planet. Red Peach Bull, or Jesus, Peach Red Bull. I love it. And this Monster got to be too sweet. This is like there's an import Monster. There's no corn syrup in any of this stuff, just real sugar, and really incredible. We were talking about stuff, and he said something. What's that new drug they're killing everybody? Fentanyl. He said, "Yeah, caffeine's just as dangerous for you. I guess, when you're doing stuff like this, you powdered form, a little bit too much caffeine dust, kill you pretty damn fast, I guess." Anyhow, really good, not overly sweet, and they flavor it in the bars and stuff, I guess. But I like it just like this. It's really good. I don't know if it's in the stores. I don't know if you can buy it. I don't know if they got a website. I don't know anything. I just wanted to give him a shout out because just a great guy. I mean, great guy. He's one of us. That's all. Down to earth, loving his ARs, and now he's talking about, I might have to get an AK going or something. But pretty cool. Anyways, so yeah, I'm sponsoring him, I guess, today. I don't know, whatever, but it's cool. And yeah, he said I got my ass whipped by a bunch of old men. Well, I did, but they deserved it. These guys were amazing. Some of them absolutely amazing, with technology that's a few hundred years old. And let me tell you something, if 4 or 5 of them were dug in a barn somewhere, you might have a little task on your hand trying to take these guys. It's pretty intense. That being said, we had a conversation about modern rifles. And I said, how'd you like to have 4 guys with what we were holding at the time, ARs, against a battalion of soldiers of that period? Wow. I mean, think about the technology shift and change, and just how much damage you could do today with so few people. It would really be something. Be kind of cool. Anyhow, so that's what we did with the black powder thing. Now, enough of that. I know you guys want to get into some modern stuff and all of that. We'll check back in, and then we're going to talk about ammo, what's going on in the ammo market, different things with Russia, and how it's affecting things. I am very proud to read some of the comments in here, especially back at the beginning. Wow, I got some comments to catch up on. You guys are talking. But the chat started out with guys talking about, with everything going on in Russia, some of the new taxes, prices on the 7.62 by 39 and steel case going through the roof, even though they had already because of the previous ban. Now with this, I saw 40-something% tax somewhere. 41%. Let's see. Joe said Russian ammo and Belarusian ammo are under 41% tax. Who's that applied by? Russia's already banned, unless it's stuff that's already still coming in under the existing contracts, and maybe they're doing that. I don't know, but either way, I'm very proud. It's all that happened. I've been stocking up, trying to buy a little here, a little there, and pandemic and before I've been doing it. And I would like to say that's because I pushed that with you guys so much that forget about ammo prices, forget what they cost. Whatever they cost today, yesterday, last week is what they cost. They're going to continue. They may go up, they may go down, but it's a cost averaging. When you need ammo, period. End of story. So why would you stop buying? Because, oh, gee, you're pissed off. The prices went up. Well, it's going to be more next week, and it's going to be more the next week. And somewhere down the line, you're going to be saying, man, am I glad I bought this back when it was? And a lot of you now are saying, hey, I don't have to worry. I don't have to scramble. Or maybe you don't have to buy it all because you got enough. So I just had a twinge of pride there, hoping that I contributed to you guys thinking that way. I hope. Um, I've got plenty. I keep buying because I keep shooting. I don't slow my shooting down because it's scarce. I may save certain things I just don't have a lot of. Maybe it's a hobby caliber, but that mainstay stuff, I didn't slow down shooting my AKs. I didn't slow down shooting ARs. I shoot just as much or more. I shoot what I want when I feel like shooting what I want to shoot. And I will just go back and load more, or I'll hunt a little harder for something, because I'm always going to replace. I'm not going to shoot and not replace. I'll replace and add. So I come back, I clean the brass, I load it up. If it's something I had to buy, I go out and I find it. Whatever the case may be, because you can't stop shooting, you can't stop practicing, you can't stop staying sharp, um, honing your skills, getting better, whatever the case may be. Now, we're not all the same. There's different budgets. Some people have better access to things than others, whatever the case may be. Maybe you do trim it down, and there's ways to do that. Shoot with calibers that are maybe a bit more in abundance, or maybe calibers you reload or have saved a bunch of brass for, or whatever the case may be. That being said, I'm collecting brass like a nutcase. If I go to the range and I shoot 200 rounds, I'll bring home 400 cases. If I go and shoot 600 rounds, I'll bring home 1,200 cases. It's funny. Me and my cousin were picking up brass. There was a 3-gun match there. And before we left, I said, let's stop over at that range where they were shooting at and see if they left any brass laying around. So, at first you don't see it, and then you just look and you focus. You go, oh my God, everywhere you think there's a couple 9mm cases, you pick them up, and then 2 inches over, oh, there's 2 more. Brass has a way of, you focus on a piece or 2 pieces and you don't see the other 8 there until you look for those. It hides itself really well. But before you know it, you haven't moved an inch and you've picked up 50 rounds of 9, or whatever. I mean, we picked up a lot of 223 brass and a ton of 9 brass. And I cleaned his for him because he hasn't spent the money on the cleaning stuff yet, because he's still amassing other stuff. So he said, I really want to get my trimmer this week. Would you mind cleaning this for me? Then I can get the trimmer this week and not spend it on a shaker. Yeah, no problem. So cleaned it all up for him and everything. And I think when all was said and done, he had 300 rounds of 9. I had about the same of 9 plus some AR ammo. And it's all cleaned and deprimed, sized, ready to go. And I just keep prepping brass, keep prepping it, putting it in cans. Worst case scenario, guys, it's worth a lot of money. New brass today, 50 pieces of brass. I don't care if it's rifle brass or 9mm, going to cost you a minimum of $25 a bag. 50 pieces. What's that work out to? 50 cents a round, something like that, right? So what's used once fired, cleaned, deprimed, and sized brass worth? Mint like brand new. What's it worth? Maybe 50 cents. I don't know. Is it worth 25 cents? For sure. For sure. So if you picked up 100 pieces of brass free at the range, cleaned it and ran it through a press, took you an hour, it's $25. I mean, you pick up 400, it's $100, whatever it is. And it's worth way more than that to me, sitting stockpiled for when I need it. Make sure you keep adding primers and powder and bullets and all that stuff. Yes, the prices have gone up, but they're still, relatively speaking, inexpensive. If you look for the deals, you can still find $25, maybe $30 powder. I paid today $40 a pound for a powder I had been looking for a long time. I couldn't find, so I got 1 pound. I paid that, but you can find it cheaper. Primers are about $80 a thousand right now. Yeah, 4 times their price just a few years ago. They used to be $20 a thousand. That ain't happening anymore, but it's still cheaper to reload 1,000 rounds. You find the brass for free. You got, let's say, $80 in primers. Your brass was free. I forget how many pounds now to load. Let's say 223. Let's say 3 pounds, maybe. Let's say 4. And let's say you paid $30 a pound, right? So 120 there, 80 for the primers, 200. Bullets I could get for $10, 100. So another 100 there. What did I have to begin with? 200, $300, roughly, give or take. $300 to load 1,000 rounds of 5.56. Load it more accurately, load it more consistently, and just better ammo all in all. New brass, not such a deal. But it'd still be $800 a case. It's within 100 of some. Not too shabby. But 300 for 1,000 rounds of 5.56 sounds good to me, don't it? AK ammo. When you find brass, non-Berdan prime brass, keep it, save it. It's when I find AK brass at the range, it's like Christmas, because you don't see a lot of guys shooting AKs still, and you don't see hardly any of them shooting brass cased ammo until recently. I've been finding more and more, and now when I say more and more, it's probably maybe 200 cases I've found, but that's $100 if I had bought it new. And AR brass is a lot harder. AK brass is a lot harder to find than the AR calibers. When I say AR ammo or AK ammo, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Hey, somebody gave us a super chat. $5. Who did that come from? Let me see here. Alan Bishop. Thank you, sir. That's awesome. Hey, look at this. He picked up a Beretta 1301 Tactical LE Gen 2. Can't wait to get it. That's awesome. And I hope you got it because you watched my video. Real quick, let's talk about that gun. It still reigns supreme in my collection as the finest tactical shotgun I own. It's magnificent. Now, I corrected it in the comments on the video, but I'll correct it here with you guys. Though my gun and probably what Alan bought here, they're not LE versions, okay? I thought they were. I was mistaken. The reason I thought they were was because back when that gun came out and I got it, you didn't find it set up like that. Unless you ordered it from one of these specialty shops, boutique joints. But the only ones that came like that from the factory at the time were LE versions. But ours are actually 1901 Tactical Gen 2s with that pistol grip, that stock, and the longer tube from the factory. I've been told they're not LE. And I kind of suspected that when it didn't say LE stamped in the barrel or stamped in the receiver or whatever the case may be. But that being said, they're the same damn thing as the LE version. There's no difference. It's got everything that it has. And what a fantastic shotgun. Fantastic shotgun. If you have not shot one, rent one, borrow one, just go buy one. You will not be disappointed. I am so sorry about this buffering. It's going in and out, and I know probably some of you are really having problems. I'm sorry that it's happening. I don't know why. Last week was fine, and now I'm seeing it again. Anyhow, yeah, get one. I was just answering comments on my channel and someone left a comment, some smartass on my Mossberg 590 video where I said, "Are they reliable?" And in my opinion, no, they're not. Um, Granted, mine is a sampling of one, but that being said, there's a ton more than one that have issues. If you just search Mossberg 590 problems, you will find an absolute ton of people with problems with not only 590s, but 500s. You won't believe it. They are not reliable. And you might say, well, there's some are good, some are bad. That's great. The ones that are good are good. The ones that are bad are bad. They are unreliable. It's the roll of the dice. And it all comes from the stop rod and the ejector stop rod, whatever the hell they're called, the plates. They Mossberg knows they have a problem, but yet their only solution is to send you out another one and hope that that one's good. Well, the stampings are out of spec. Maybe they get a good load of them and then they get a bad load of them. So you never know. That means it's unreliable. I would not trust my life to that shotgun if my life depended on it. How's that sound? Sometimes it works great. Other times, not so much. Some ammo runs great. Others, not so much. You can't have that. That being said, that Beretta 1301, that thing, from the day I bought it, I took it out of the box, went to an open house with it, didn't clean it, didn't oil it, did nothing, proceeded to run 700 rounds through it from myself and perfect strangers, probably 100 of them. And it did never missed a beat. Not one single choke, using the lightest ammo you could find and using the heaviest and everything in between. It was fabulous. I can't say enough about that gun. And it's horrible. I remembered back in the day when I was a kid, and my dad found a deal on Mossberg field shotguns, single bead, 26 or 28-inch barrel modified choke, as plain Jane comes, $99 a piece. He bought two of them, and we were going pheasant hunting, and we brought them with. Well, thank God I brought my 870, because about the fifth bird I missed, I proceeded to walk back to the truck, put it in the case, and it never came out again. And I don't know what happened to them. They got sold. There were function issues, but the missing was not me. It just, they were just off. There was like a lag and all kinds of weird stuff going on. They were horrible. And I didn't recall that story almost until I was messing with this 590 and putting it back together. And then I remembered putting one together, and I go, what gun was that? I said, oh, those were those shit boxes my dad brought home. I guess I've never liked them, but I didn't remember that till then. Is everything okay, guys, here with the video? Somebody tell me yes or no. If you can see it okay. A few of you chime in. Let me know if it's lagging. Maybe I'll try and go do something about it. But anyways, Alan, congratulations on the 1301 Tactical Beretta shotgun. That is an awesome gun. You will be a happy, happy, happy man. And make sure you come back and tell us about it. And thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. For you guys that don't know, right down where you type your comments, there's a little $sign. You can type a comment. It pops it up top so I can read it and answer your question. And you can throw some money toward the channel. Helps us bring you all the cool things that we bring you, because let's face it, we don't make squat off YouTube. Most things are demonetized. And that's all we got to bring money in is super chats. Like I said, most are demonetized, and we spend a lot on all kinds of stuff. You wouldn't believe how quick it adds up. So if you guys want to throw a super chat our way, you think we bring you some good, solid information or entertainment, although I don't know how the hell I entertain you guys. Look at this mug. Damn handsome, aren't I? I gotta say. I'm kidding, guys. anyways, that it would help out tremendously. So down where you type for the chat, you just click that dollar sign there, and you can just set a super chat for $1 or $1,000,000, whatever you want, anywhere in between. And it's all appreciated, and every bit of it goes toward the channel. We do giveaways, all kinds of stuff. Speaking of the giveaways, hopefully you guys saw my video. Featuring the Krebs AK, and we showed you how to use that on there. I've got the one address of the one winner. I still don't have the other. I gave out the email address to send the info to, rockfordordnance@gmail.com. Now, I think he may have screwed up because I told this story before. My son made the channel, and he did the channel correct, Rockford Ordnance, Ordnance. However, the email is Rockford Ordinance, like a city ordinance. It's got an I in there, and you can't change your email on a channel after you do it. So it's very confusing, and it sucks. And while I do have the other email account, I don't ever check it because it's never out there. He may have sent it to that. I will check it, but if whoever that was, send me your info and we will get them out. Unfortunately, they won't go out not this week, but the following week. Like I said, I got a lot of plans and stuff going on. So we'll get some more cool stuff coming out to you guys. I want to give you guys as many surprises and contests as we possibly can. We're going to give you shirts. We're going to get whatever we can. I want you guys to have fun, enjoy yourself, and use the money to make you guys happy and having a good time. There's another great super chat from Martin Coe for $20. He said, "This is for one mag dump. What kind of gun you want me to dump it out of?" You know what? I was thinking about this as I was prepping for this tonight and setting up. I feel so fortunate. While, I had a decent gun collection and a lot of what I wanted and putting together, this whole thing has been such a cool experience. And had I not done this, there's a lot of different things I wouldn't have bought or put on the channel. Sometimes, I review them and I get rid of them. Other times I keep a few here and there, this and that. Once in a rare while, I get to review, corporate guns or something like that. I always tell you guys when I do, but I was looking around the room and some were along here, the couch here up on edge. Stuff I had shot this week and had not cleaned and put in the safe yet. And I just walked in, I was looking at them, and some I've had a long time, others aren't even going to stay, but whatever. I just looked at them and I thought how lucky I am to see all this stuff here. And just to give you guys an idea, looking around what I moved, there's the Krebs 103 KS on the Arsenal SLR 107 chassis. There's a great Aero Precision kind of a DMR rifle, or tan one, if you guys have seen it. There's our Spanish Setme, which I never would have bought that rifle, but I'm glad it came in to do the review. And yep, I purchased that one. I love that gun. Really cool. And it got us going on roller locks, right? So we ended up with the MP5. I'm looking at a SLR 107 FR and at a SAM 5, all decked out and salmon stock, all original, like it Bulgarian gun should be. I'm looking at the Mossberg 590 retrograde, which I don't care for too much, and that's going away. I'm looking at probably one of the most fabulous guns in this room, and that's a Vepr FM 7.62 by 39 fixed stock with Russian wood on it and a gorgeous Russian Bakelite grip, like unissued, dark, deep, with a Tula mag in it. and a Russian RPK handguard on it, and a Russian sling, and just a muzzle nut. And it's a tough, chubby looking, badass AK. And I'm looking at a Romanian AES 10B RPK with the extendable bipod and a 40 round Bakelite mag and gorgeous furniture. And I'm looking at a beautiful wartime M1 Garand, and I'm looking at our 1301 LE, and I'm looking at a shorty Aero Precision, looks like a car AR. I'm looking at an M17 pistol and a mini Draco all done up, and a killer Scorpion, and our Savage, our 308 sniper gun, and Yugo SKS, and a Russian SKS, and a VR80, and a Vepr shotgun, and a God. I mean, guys, it doesn't get much better than that. And to have the opportunity just to shoot some of this stuff and to bring it to you guys and show it all to you. And I look at all these things. Yeah, they're weapons. Yeah, they're guns. Yeah, they're fun to shoot. But I look at them like art. I just love the melding of wood and blue steel, and how they take these rough organic or inorganic elements that we either grow or come from the ground in such a rough state, and we form them and make them into these polished, perfect pieces of machinery that just operate smoothly and do what they do. And they're like art. They're like a painting on a wall to me. It's why I like knives. The same thing. You take a piece of rough steel, you hammer it, and you pound it, and you heat it, and you polish it, and you add some finer elements to it, and it comes out like that. What do you think of that? You know what this is, guys? This is called an elephant's toe. So it's a short, stubby little pocket knife. This is our blade of the week, by the way. So it's a short, stubby little pocket knife. It's an elephant toe, right? And it's got two blades, and they're fat and stubby, just like the toe itself. And it'll have a smaller one like that. And they're just cool. You got trappers, you got all kinds of neat stuff. Well, this is an elephant's toe, and you don't see them too often. And this one's embellished really neat with the silver bolsters and the turquoise, and it's just cool. This knife was not very expensive. This came, I believe it's made by Frost Cutlery, and some of you guys might be going, ugh, junk, garbage, Chinese junk. Yes, it's a Chinese company, but they've been up and coming for a long time, and they really produce nice stuff. Yep, it's made in China, and I believe it is Frost. I'm almost positive it is. I got on a kick where you used to be able to buy these Frosts for $2-3 a piece, and I'd order 5 a week, and they'd come in, and I collected the pocket knives. And now I look back, and they're just so cool. It's unique. It's different. Sharp. You wouldn't believe how sharp these come from the factory. There's some companies out of China that make some really nice pocket knives. And this one is just one of them. It's kind of one of those I forget about, but it's always neat. I like to carry a different one every day. And it always goes in one pocket where no change, no keys, no nothing. And it's kind of my polishing routine, right? They get polished in my pocket every day. So they're kind of neat. And I thought I'd bring you this one. So what do you guys think of that? I just thought it's kind of cool. Elephant toe. That's what they're called. So let me know what you guys think about it over there. And yeah, our blade of the week. Pretty neat. You get a pretty good grip on it with the texture and the stone here. And I actually think it's artificial stone. I don't think it's real turquoise. I don't know. It might be. Um, but it's cool. And the silver bolsters are beautiful. And they're done in kind of a satin finish. And just cool. So I like it. Let me take a breather here, guys. That's a lot of talking, huh? And I go a mile a minute. What do you guys think so far? I hope you're having a good time. And learning a little bit. So we were talking about ammo and what's going on, and how I was proud of seeing a few of you guys talking about that. Hey, I'm stockpiled up. I don't have to worry about it. And I remember a few of you saying that are now saying you're stockpiled up and you got enough and you don't have to worry about it because of what you did throughout the pandemic or just before or even before that. But it made me feel good that you guys are heeding my advice and buying regardless of the price, and thinking of it as cost averaging. I'm not telling you not to find the best deal you can. Find the best deal you can. But don't stop buying, because these bad days, one day you'll be referring to them as the good old days. So keep it going and keep putting it away so you can shoot and not worry about it. It's only money, guys. You can't take it with you. That's all I can say. Enjoy it while you got it. Put it away to take care of you and yours. And you'll be damn glad you did one day. I promise you. I'm not even going to get into the recent executive orders that just came down, because I just don't want to get into it right now. We all know how illegal it is, how unconstitutional it is. We all know how each other feel about it. It's just a matter of what we're going to do about it. I got a feeling there'll be a bunch of lawsuits and all that, but that lawsuit and 50 cents won't get you on the bus. Meanwhile, while they're fighting it, it's still affecting your freedoms. So you need to talk to your congressmen, your senators, representatives. You need to talk to local governments. That's where it all starts. Run. How about this? Run for local office. Get on a local board. Get on a school board. Go to a town council meeting. Do something. That's where it starts. At home, close by. You're never going to start at the top. You're not going to affect what those people at the top think. Yeah, sure. Send them a letter. Send them a handwritten letter. Send them an email too. Call their office. Do something. Take 10 minutes you would have taken laying on the couch or contemplating your navel or whatever the hell you're doing. Take the 10 minutes, make the phone call, drop the email, do whatever, but do that for sure. Make me that promise. Just make that promise. 99% of you on here won't do it. You won't. You just won't. You don't think it's important enough. You don't think it's going to change anything. You don't think whatever. Well, keep thinking that way and it won't. You got to do something. When you're going to the range next time, think of a friend, a coworker, a neighbor, a child you can take with you and show them what it's all about. Show them that it's not bad. Show them that it's a great hobby, a great way to learn things, a great way to adult, be an adult, and a great way to teach respect and all those other things that go along with it. Do something. Don't say, oh, I did it once or twice, or I brought this. Do it. Please, just once. Make the difference one time. You have to, or it's all gone, guys. It's all gone. You have to get into it. Don't just say it. Don't just put it up here for my edification. I don't care. I did it. I care, Chris. Just go do it. Don't tell anybody about it. Just go do it. Something, anything. Give to an organization, Gun Owners of America. The NRA, I don't care who you pick, give it to them. Don't start with the NRA crap. They're still the biggest dog on the block, and it still gets it done. There's better choices, sure, maybe, but just do it, please. It's all going away, and all this fun is gone. It's no fun when you got to do it in back alleys and remote places, and that's not freedom, guys. And one day you may have to do something to protect it. Hopefully that's never. Hopefully it's much later. But we can turn this tide. It's very close. There's a lot of good things going on right now. We've won a lot of big battles. You got to keep pushing. Got to. I heard a poll the other day that for the first time, I don't know if it was regarding the recent things with frames and receivers and all, where more people were against it than were for it, or I don't remember, but it was a major issue that the public had completely swung on it. You forget, we made a lot of new gun owners over the last few years. Some say 30, 40 million, right? I know at the low end, you're hearing what, 14 million, something like that? That's a lot of people, and it's a lot of demographic we didn't have before. A lot of just groups that didn't normally be included in those numbers. Women, Hispanics, Blacks, a lot of people. When you normalize something like AR ownership, look at what Palmetto State's done. Magnificent what that company has done. They've brought it to the masses, right? And the more you can get in people's hands, the better it is. There's millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of ARs out there. And a lot of them, thank God for Palmetto State and all the other companies out there. Because the more that are out there, the more, hey, that's just a normal thing. Sorry, guys, I hit the computer. And there's some great deals on them. Now is not the time of the AK. Now is the time of the AR. They're cheap. I know some of you guys are diehard AK guys, and you say, I'm not going to buy one of those. I'm not going to shoot what they consider the enemy of the gun world, kind of, because there's AR guys and AK guys. Well, I'm both, guys. And I've always been an AK guy. Lately, I have shot way more 5.56 ammo through an AR platform than I have 7.62 by 39 through a AK platform. In the last year, I've probably shot double or triple the 5.56 ammo as I have 7.62. Partially because I did want to stockpile what I had. Partially because I had built some new stuff and gotten some new stuff and whatever. And going between the two like I always do, I enjoy the AK, but man, I enjoy the AR a ton too. You know, they're so different. They're both awesome, but they're so different. I can't lie. Sometimes I go back to the AK and it feels crude to me, and it feels maybe like some say, not as accurate, or it's certainly, put it this way, it's harder to shoot. It's harder to shoot well. How's that sound? I'll give them that. It doesn't take anything away from my love for the AK or me, what I would choose if I could only have one, that kind of thing. It doesn't change any of that. It is what it is. And I think as the quote unquote gun guys, gun gals, whatever, however you want to put it, I think you're lying to yourself if you say, when I hate that, how can you? It's a great gun. It really is. It's a great rifle. There's so many great platforms. I love the Tavor, the X95. God, I love that gun. I love the Setmes. I love FALs. I like SKSs. I love shooting them all. Some better than others, sure, but none of them. I enjoy them all for what they are, and you should too. If you can only afford X amount, then spread it out between guns that are affordable in that price range. If you can afford $200 guns, buy $200 guns, but buy a bunch of different ones and have fun and learn the differences and learn how they differ and how they work differently and how they hold up differently. What runs better, what runs worse. Then when you can afford $500 guns, buy $500 guns, and you move up to $2,000 guns, and whatever the case may be. Things change as your age changes, your experience changes. Enjoy it all. Don't poo-poo anything. I have everything from I have a $99 gun, and I have a $7,000 gun. Now, in that particular case, I may definitely prefer the $7,000 gun, but it's not because it necessarily shoots better. You'll just, things will work different for you the more experience you get. And you'll change over time. Your preferences will change. Maybe you get burnt out on a platform and you want to go to try something different. Well, by all means, try something different. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. Just do it. What is going on here? Okay. So get out there and do it. I hope you guys enjoyed that little video with Krebs and that the new Krebs tool that we showed you. If you want one of those Krebs tools, make sure you go to Krebs Custom, and if they're back in stock, grab one. It is a great tool, I gotta say. We've all used something to pry up that gas tube lever, or worse yet, the little lever that holds the lower handguard on. Sometimes you whack it too hard and it's down in there and you're trying to get it out and you got a screwdriver prying up, or it's moving so hard you almost think you're going to break it off, right? Don't ever break one off. That's a pain in the ass, let me tell you. Put a new one in. But we've all used inappropriate tools to do those things. We've all used the bolt carrier to crank it over. Man, it just feels better when you use the right tool. You ever do a job, something's broke. It could be a gun, it could be a car, it could be anything. And you either don't have the tool, can't afford the specialty tool, or whatever the case may be. So you do it with something inappropriate and it slightly screws things up, whether it's the bolt head or maybe you strip something or it's back together, but oh God, it's just not how I like it. It should be this. And you're kind of, you're worried about it a little bit. That's the worst feeling in the world, guys, when you took something that was nice and yeah, it's broken, but you're going to fix it. But maybe while you fixed one thing, you screwed something else up or put it in a little worse condition, maybe. There's nothing worse than that feeling. I know you've all have done something like that in the past. In a case like this, why would you not spend like whatever these are, 10, 12, 14 bucks? Why would you not get one and be able to, and guys will say, well, I don't care if I scratch my AK. Well, scratch it enough times, guys, and it's a piece of junk, right? One or two, fine. Drop it, run it hard, whatever. How about save it for running hard instead of screwing it up on your bench, Get the tools if you can and use the right ones when you can. It'll make you feel much better. I've done certain ones, and granted, I'm OCD. I've done certain things where I get done and I hate the product, not because of the product, but because of how I had to fix it, and it's not right. And it's just, I don't want it anymore. You can avoid all of that. Just one of my weird tendencies. Anyhow, ammo prices. Yeah, they're going up, but there's still some stuff out there. Retail-wise, big box stores, there is, I was at a local farm store where I get a lot of stuff, and there was 5.56 beyond belief. There was 20 round boxes, 100 round boxes, 150 round boxes, 200 round boxes, 250 round boxes, 340, 430, 480, 500, 1,000 rounders. of every type, color, finish, green tip, soft tip, small tip, just the tip. You name it, it was there. Anything you wanted to buy was there. Anything you wanted to buy, and on 1,000 rounds was $6.99 plus tax, no shipping because you're standing there. There's some places online where even online is $6.99. Not horrible, and it's now and it's here. And if you pay cash, nobody knows you got it. And yeah, hey, I don't know. They had Tula on sale. Tula Wolf, same head stamp. Ever notice that, guys? Tula ammo and Wolf ammo have the same Tula head stamp. Steel case. Anyhow, that was $9.95 a box of 20. And you guys find this? You think back to days, and I used to pay for that. Was it $5.99 or $2.99? And I'm like, yeah, it couldn't have been $2.99. And I'm like, no, it was better than that. So 50 boxes of 20 in a 1,000-round case, right? So if there's 50 boxes, and I was paying 100, let's say 150 1,000 at the best ever, 150 1,000, right? How much is that a 20-round box? 50 goes into 153 times $3 a box. That's what I was paying. I could get it at $2.99 a box locally years ago. And here's one I haven't seen anywhere in a long time around here. I have not seen any of the bears. I have not seen silver bear, brown bear, or what's the other one? Golden bear, I guess. But I haven't seen any of the bear ammos anywhere. Any of you guys seen it for sale on store shelves? I have not seen it. They always said that was softer, more underpowered ammo. I never thought so. I bought a lot of Brown Bear 7.62 by 54R, a lot of that back in the day. And I bought a lot of Silver Bear 7.62 by 39. I wish I still had it. That was good ammo. But I haven't seen it in forever. And it used to be $3.99 a box or $2.99 a box. And I was thinking, nah, it had to be $5.99 a box. Well, at $10 a box, 10 times 50 is $500. $500 a case in a retail store in the middle of Wisconsin. That's a lot of money. Then I looked back, and I remember when it went back to 300 or 350 at a case, and I went, oh, God, Jesus, man, should have bought more. Keep buying, guys. Keep buying. Whether you want to order through the mail or you want to get it locally, one day you'll wish you had bought, flipped the 20 down for 40 rounds of 7.62 by 39. What are you going to do? It is what it is. Make sure you're getting it. Alan Bishop's out here. Alan, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. I have not went to the chat at all. Let's back up a bit, and I'll keep talking about ammo. So they had all the AR. They had a ton of AR 5.56 ammo coming out your ears. Some of it very cheap. Good prices on it for retail. And 9mm. There was a lot of different stuff. Cheapest I saw was $17.95 a box. That seems to be the cheapest you'll find retail end of things. A lot of hunting cartridges back in stock. A lot of shotgun back in stock. I found some 3-inch slugs. I bought some of those. What else? There was some trap loads for once. A lot of other rifle rounds. A lot of other 45 Colt. So I think they've saturated the market with the military calibers, which were the ones that were hard to get. So they worked on that first. Now you're seeing them switch lines over because not only are the retail stores full, millimeter and 5.56. So what do they do then? over to the hunting calibers that are lagging. You want a shocker? Check out 45 Long Colt, 45 Colt. $70 a box at a farm store. Wow. For cowboy rounds. Man, oh man, am I glad I've got thousands of rounds of brass for that and a lot of bullets. God, I can't imagine $70 a box. $50 a box, 40 to $50 a box for 5.7. I've been trying to stock up on that lately. If I see it in that $39 range, I buy it. One of these days, I'm going to have to break down and buy a case of it, but that'll be when I buy the rifle, the FN, because I do want to get one of those. There's some really, how about there's some ARs now that you can put together and shoot that caliber. That is kind of interesting. How useful, I don't know, but very interesting, kind of cool. So once I got enough brass for that, hell, I'll be reloading that for sure. Let's see what you guys have been saying. So I'll get through all your hellos and all. And if I see someone new that chimed in or joined in here, I'll call you out. Chase Kelly, hey, Rock. Glad to have you, Chase. Some of you guys are probably already gone. We've been in here an hour and a half. Number one Big Bear, I said hi to him before, but he says Guns and Gadgets headline was something about Big Joe wants a 30% increase on ammo. Has anyone else heard about it? No, I have not. Arch, Illinois still requires it to be shipped to an FFL now. What's that? A black powder gun? Are you kidding me? No way. Stream keeps cutting out. Anyone else? Sorry, Tommy. I'm sorry, guys. It's just we've got Starlink. That's what's his name? The guy that put together this internet thing. It's great internet. It's lightning fast. At night, sometimes it can get weird. And things have been really weird since the war started over there. I think they're sucking some of the stuff over there for them to have coverage. Who knows? Squeaky Cooler says, love the Flint Locks. Just got to make sure no one is near the flash pan, but it always ends up a fave at the range when others see the smoke and flash. Yeah. So I cleaned mine after that match real good. And if you guys remember, I had bought my father-in-law as a gift a really nice flintlock pistol, gorgeous flame tiger wood, everything. He had shot it out here not too long ago, and frankly, it was one of our faults, his or mine. Either I thought he cleaned it, or he thought I was going to clean it. And I looked at it even over the last few weeks, and it was fine. All of a sudden, I look, and there's a bunch of rust in the barrel. I go, oh no. I took it out there. I cleaned and scrubbed and cleaned and scrubbed, and it was just orange coming out. I was like, oh my God. I ran a brush. I did everything. And I got 99% of it out. And I thought, you know what? The last of it, I'm going to shoot out. So I loaded one up, and I walked from the shop into the house, through the kitchen, out on the back deck, and my son-in-law was here. And he's watching me, and he's, what's he going to do? And I pointed off the deck, and I go, click, whoosh, boom. And he'll go shooting with me. He's not huge into guns, but he just went, you should have seen the smile on his face. Holy cow, is that cool? So now I know how to get him shooting. So I loaded up another one, shot. He was laughing. Time my wife, stop with the noise, the neighbors. We were having fun. So then I had to clean it again, but it came out perfect. But it's so much fun. Take one to the range, get one. If you know someone's got one laying around, ask them to let you shoot it. They're cool and fun. Let's see who else is in here. Dixie said, hey to Tommy. What did you get? I saw a photo of the IWI caramel. Looked nice. What caramel? Caramel color? Big Bear's 41%, 30 in tariffs, and 11 in excise tax. It put steel case more expensive than brass and was the final nail in the coffin. Yeah, maybe I'll have to order a few last cases if I can find it, if it hasn't hit yet. Guys, I'm so sorry. MZ's here. That's a Dylan XL750 Progressive. And I set it up over the last couple of nights. I know what I'm doing with reloading, but I've never done a progressive. I've worked them. I've done progressive shotgun. Yeah, you watch the videos and they make it sound so easy, but they leave out steps. And I had a bad experience with Dylan that turned it turned good in the end. But really, I was ready to take the thing back. Let's get through the chat here real quick, and then I'll tell you all about this press. I will show you this real quick if I can find it. Here we go. Here is the first batch off the press. There it is in all its glory. A whole big old batch of 5.56. And they came out beautiful. And man, they crank out ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. The only problem is every time the dogs hear brass go clink, they start barking. They think it's someone's car keys outside. So I don't know how I'm going to fix that problem because my wife won't put up with that much longer. Every time a shell goes ka-ching and the dogs start barking, roaring up a storm. Because I reload, guys, until 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Sometimes the sun's coming up. I'm out there reloading. That's how I keep my mind off things. But, yeah. Anyhow, let's see. Putting a new build together, MZ says. Cheap build, Palmetto State Armory, 7.5 barrel and 5.56. Don't let anyone tell you it's a waste or a range toy. I've got... I have one 7.5, maybe one 8.5 too. They all hit mad accurate at 100 yards, no problem. Yeah, a lot of velocity loss, but those guns are meant, you know what they're meant for. Up close and personal, and they're so much fun and so handy. So build away and enjoy it. You'll have a great time with it. Joe said he did order middle finger sights for the budget build. It was $10. Is it really got a middle finger? Carmel isn't available here yet, I don't think. My Springfield Hellion came in last week, and I got a Sig Virtus due in tomorrow. I picked up an SGL 21. You got another Tommy? We need to talk because I need an SGL. I need an SGL. 7.62-39 gun. And I believe that means I want the 21 because the 20 didn't have the accessory. I want the best of the best one. And I need a mint one. And you seem to be the man to be able to find them. We need to talk. You need to give me a call one of these days. I'll get you my number. We need to talk. Because you must have some hookup or you're getting really lucky, one of the two. But that is one that's missing. I have to have it, right? How can I be? I'm not an AK guy, am I? I'm not. Shit. All these AKs, and I'm not an AK guy. I'm not. You are not an AK guy if you don't have an SGL. You're just another loser, another wannabe. I am. I admit it. I don't have one. I had one for a while. What a dumbass I am. Man. Anyhow. Yeah, please help. I got to find one. If you want a genuine 50 cal Hawking, get in touch with Hatchet Jack. See, that's why I like Dixie, because they know their shit. They got their things together. Hey, Dick, some of them here know what we're talking about, and a lot of them don't. And we can't hold it against them, though, can we? Because some might just be too young. But I got a feeling There's a lot of people my age in here. And I first watched that movie with my dad. And it's one of those movies I remember watching because he let me stay up with him and watch it and this and that. Uh, the other movie I remember like that was one of the best father and son things ever. My mom made me go to bed. Dad was downstairs watching a war movie, and I wanted to watch it, wanted to hang out with him. When my dad was younger, he'd lay on the floor in the family room with a pillow and whatever he was munching on, and lay on his stomach with a pillow and watch the movie, right? So mom put us to bed, and we had a tri-level house. So I snuck past her room. My room was right across the hall. So I was a tough one. Sneak out of there, down the hall, super quiet, down a few stairs, laying against the wall on the stairs, looking to see what he was doing. I could see him laying down there, but I couldn't see what he was watching. And I tried sneaking down further, further, further. Don't you know, commercial comes on and he's coming up for a snack. And he gets a few stairs up from the lower level and he sees me there. And he stops and he looks and he just did one of these, like, shh, come on. So I went in the kitchen. He pointed me downstairs. I went downstairs real quick. He came down with a bunch of food for us. And I laid there next to him with the pillow and everything. And we watched Green Berets with John Wayne. Peter-san, Peter-san. It was the first time I had ever seen it. And that was the greatest movie. I remember the punji stick scene and all that, or all the booby traps and stuff. And it was sad with the little kid and all, but what a great movie. I remember that movie to this day, and I remember watching it with my dad. And that's also that movie. It didn't have a title, you saw the title, just 2 words, right? And you thought, is this going to be any kind of movie? Boy, was that a movie. That was a great movie. I always said I was born 100 years, minimum 100 years too late. I should have been better placed then. I think I would have been best, maybe 1820 to 1880. I think maybe 1890. Anything further would have depressed me. Think about how crappy those guys had to feel. The guys that had gotten out west and broken everything in and blazed the trails, only to see what they saw coming, the trains and the towns and the big business and all the crap that destroyed it all. And they knew that it was no more, right? But to be there in the early and mid 1800s and to see and do everything they did, man, oh man, what a time to live, in my opinion. I don't know. I always thought I was born too late. Even maybe from the founding of this country on, or early on, the fur traders and all of that. What a time to live. Just a true wilderness, a new experience that nobody had seen. Nobody had blazed that trail. And what a great time. Do what you want. When you got out there, you were truly free. I think that was one of the times in history, or even recent history, because you got to consider that recent history, right? Where you still had all the freedoms you could want or enjoy. Sure, they were encroached on, but imagine how little it took for those people to feel that their freedoms were being taken away. Imagine if they had to deal with what we deal with today on a yearly, weekly, daily, monthly thing, where they're taking more and more and more away from us. We went to war, guys, over, what was it, 3 cents, 2 cents? They went to war. They fought the Civil War. That's what the tea tax was, pennies. And they went to war with it. They risked their lives, their families, their fortunes, their livelihood. They risked it all for a couple pennies. But yet, we allow the powers that be to take away monumental freedoms freedoms that every other freedom is based on. We allow them to take them away and think, well, at least we still got, at least I can build my AR. I can still build it, but at least I can still get ammo, but I got to get this card that says I can. And at least I can have that RPK. Yeah, so it's only semi. Hey, at least I still got 10 round mag. I'm not stuck shooting a muzzle loader. Oh, wait. I got to register my muzzle loader? You mean that antique one? Yeah, the 400-year-old technology. Yeah, I have to get a permission slip for that? Do I have to get a permission slip to light off a firecracker? Think what they'd be doing that right now, guys. There would be no talk. There would be no talk. I promise you that. But I got a family and I got business. I got a home. What are they going to do? They might put me in jail. They might this. They might that. They might come in and take my dog, because I'm a bad guy. I am. I'm a bad guy. That's what it is, guys. That's what it is. That's what you've been reduced to. You really have. What kind of words would those guys use to describe you? Think about that. I know what they'd call you. I know what they'd call me. And normally, if someone called you that, you'd do what? Would you take a swing? Maybe. I don't know. Something to chew on for a few days there, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. Did you know Germany? I'm sorry, not Germany. Peru, I think. Peru, I believe. They were rioting in the streets over 10% inflation. They were rioting in the streets, 10% inflation. And rising gas prices, food prices, all that. They were rioting in the streets. The government, the president, whoever it was, ordered a mandatory, curfew, right? And nobody obeyed it at all. What's the word? It's getting late. I'm sorry. Disobedience. Mass disobedience. So he had to lift that curfew order, right? Otherwise, he'd look like he had lost power. So they lifted it. But they were rioting, destroying, burning, doing everything over 10% inflation. Now, they claim we have 7.5%, 7.75% inflation, right? What if I were to tell you that our real inflation is almost 20% here? Our real inflation is over 18%. And you'll say, well, Chris, how's that possible? It's not 18%. Here's how. You ever hear of something called the CPI? It's the Consumer Price Index, okay? What's the CPI, you might ask? What's Consumer Price Index? Well, it's a list of things that these agencies, governmental agencies, have come up with that they track month by month, quarter by quarter, year by year. And well, it used to be they tracked this list of things. So let's go back, say 1980, okay? 1980, the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, was made up of a set group of products, consumer products, automobiles, beef prices, whatever it may have been, corn, durable goods like appliances, things like that. But it was a set list. Every month, they tracked the same products. Every month. They figured what the prices were, and they said what it had raised or lowered. Essentially, cost of living, sort of. So Consumer Price Index, what consumers were paying for these items. Same every month. Well, roughly about, I may have this part wrong. So bear with me, but it really doesn't matter. It was either It was either Clinton, Obama, or Bush. Okay, that covers all of it, right? One of them, maybe 10, 15 years ago or so. Uh, Somewhere in there, they changed the consumer price index. No longer is it the same group of products. Okay. Now, let's say they check prices this month and beef prices are through the roof. Well, well, we don't want to track that. That's going to throw things off. Let's go with chicken. We're going to do chicken. Chicken's down this month. So that's a cost of living. It's a consumer product. We'll throw chicken in there. So now they track chicken, and chicken, maybe the price dropped 5 cents a pound or whatever, but beef was up astronomically, right? Now it's no longer the same list every month. They get to pick and choose what they put in the consumer price index. If we took the list back from 1980 and compared it to right now, CPI is over 18%. You have almost 20% inflation right now. That's unsustainable. What I told you guys is happening or was going to happen is happening. That's damn near hyperinflation. And if it gets away, there's so much trouble coming. You have no idea. No idea. How you turn that around, I don't even know. How are interest rates at 0.25%? You know where interest rates should be? Ask any economist. If your inflation is at 18%, where do your bank lending rates need to be? Take a wild guess. Anybody? For banks to survive and make money, the rate they lend money at has to be at least a point over the inflation rate. So to buy a car right now should be 19%, 20%, 21%. That's what it did last time this happened. Why isn't it now? Well, because they're not giving you the truth. They're pushing off the inevitable. They're kicking the can down the road. They're covering it up for as long as they can. And by any means possible. They lie. They flat out lie. Nobody ever told you they changed the consumer price index, did they? No, they don't make an announcement. If they do, you don't see it in the publications you read, or they hide it somewhere, or maybe they do say it in a closed door meeting or whatever. But they lie. They just lie. They change policy to suit the numbers they want, just like unemployment figures and everything else. The amount of gold we have in reserves, God only knows what that is. If they ever open the doors to Fort Knox, we might be in for a shocker, huh? What do you think it was when we went off the gold standard, guys? Went off the gold standard so they could print more and more money and be the world reserve currency. Well, you are in a position now where it may fall off. It may not be that currency anymore. There's a meeting of the World Economic Forum going on this week, right now. And I don't know what they're talking about, but I know what they're talking about, but I hope it's not, okay, we're ready and we've got the solution and we're implementing. Because if it is, you're going to wake up one morning in the very near future and everything you've worked so hard for will be worth about 20% of what you thought it was the day before. And I think you guys that have been watching this channel long enough know I'm not a conspiracy theorist. No, and I don't buy in. I don't rant and rave about this stuff. I talk about it occasionally, but when I do, I've got facts behind it. I know what I'm talking about, and I don't scream it to the heavens like the sky's falling, but it is. And I can't even convince the people that love me the most what's happening. I know they're intelligent enough to see it. I know they're intelligent enough to understand it when I explain it to them. I know they probably had a lot of that information, just haven't put the pieces together yet. And that worries me because it's the old ostrich sticking the head in the sand, or someone telling you something you don't want to hear and you go, la, 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 la. That's what that is, because they're scared because they don't have an answer. They don't know how to fix it. So it's a protectionist sort of thing. Frankly, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to put your money. I don't know what to buy to preserve wealth. Sometimes it's easier if you have nothing, right? If you have nothing, you figure, got nothing today. What's the difference tomorrow, right? But when you've worked hard and you're in those years that you should be able to enjoy it and not worry about it, and there's no way you can protect it. The Bitcoin's going to go to maybe not. I don't know, but I know Bitcoin's not going to be the use. It'll be something called Fed coin. I'm pretty sure that'll be the name is Fed coin. Um, it's there. It's set up. The models are there. The only reason it didn't happen during COVID is they weren't ready for the launch. There were some issues, some problems. Maybe our buddy that they ran out on a rail postponed it a bit. But they got a very short time to get it all put together, and it's coming. You got an election coming, boys and girls. Think about that and the timing of everything. Um, I don't put this together because I hear things or hear people talk. I put this together because it's anyone that's had an economics 101 class, um, has been through '08 or gas prices. What happened in the 70s, guys? Gas prices, all that. And what happened? We came off the gold standard. Nixon took us off, right? It's all the same things happening over again. Every bit of it. It's just a different chapter. It's the same thing told differently by a different generation. It's the same story that your grandfather told, but a few things have changed, and now your dad's telling the story to your kids. That kind of thing. It's happening. Um, I truly, in my heart, I can't stop it. You can't stop it. Um, it's too far along. We've been part of it all this time. We just unwitting spectators, I guess, or actors. I don't know. I think everybody's guilty, but guilty because they told you what to do and how to do it, and not necessarily consciously. But that being said, if they're pulling the strings behind the scene, then you're just going along because hey, the people in power, the public officials, the people you trust told you to. Does that make you wrong? I don't know, but I just take the little bit of knowledge I have, the common man knowledge, and go, when A does this and B does that, this should happen. And it's not, or it is, well, then that means this is going to happen. Holy cow. Think about it, guys. I heard there are no cars. I left the car dealer I was running not too long ago, and I had 200 cars on the lot when I left. And now they have one car on the lot since I left in 60 days. And I had promises of lots coming. Now it's either gross mismanagement since I left, or the supply chain has hit them and broken down, which I don't know. I'll have to make a few phone calls and find out. But it's like that everywhere. It's not getting better. It's getting worse. And then I thought, I know how they produce cars. I know how they come in. I know all this stuff. Chips. Oh, it's chips. It's chips. It's chips. It ain't friggin' chips. Okay. I got a feeling. I mean, this is okay. Here's my own conspiracy theory of my own making. Okay. What if the big players, the big companies, the big banks, of course, the banks are in on it, right? They're in on the planning stages. What are we going to do? How's this going to come out? And how are we going to end up on top? Well, the big companies, the huge companies, the too big to fail companies, they're got to be on the know too, right? Because they're the engine that makes it turn. What if they just had a little bit of an inside scoop worldwide that your money in the bank, the dollars you have to make that engine turn, are not going to be worth the paper they're printed on. What is going to be worth money then? Commodities, right? Things you can hold in your hand. Steel, corn, energy, computer chips, foam, rubber, cast iron, fiberglass, plastic, glass, commodities, things you can make things from or use or eat or use to burn energy. That's what's going to be worth the money. So why not now take all that cash that's worth nothing or will be worth nothing and put it all into commodities that are going to be worth a lot real soon, because they're the only holders of true value. It's like gold or silver, right? That'll be worth something. It's a commodity. Why not put all your money in that and hold on to it for a while just to see what happens? Let's just hold on for a while. We got this COVID thing going on. They know the supply lines are down. They know we don't have labor. Let's just sit on it for a while. Bank will lend us enough money to get through it. They know we got all this commodity sitting here. We're good for it, right? What if there is no shortage? They're just stockpiling all these commodities because they know when it does hit that the cash in the bank is worth nothing, but the commodities double, triple, quadruple. And now they fire the engines back up, right? And you're going to have to buy because you haven't had for so long. Your car's got 200,000 miles. It's this, it's that. I can't get to whatever the case may be, right? And they're there to fire it up with stuff they paid pennies on the dollar for. And everybody else is scrambling and going to pay them thousands on the penny, right? What if that's the case? Sure makes sense to me with the little bit of knowledge I got. Maybe I don't have enough knowledge. Maybe I'm full of hot water. I don't know. Hot air, whatever. But that sure makes sense to me. Because you know what? The only thing I've been thinking to do to keep money safe is put it in something solid that I can hold on to, that's not going to depreciate. Uh, Cash could be worthless tomorrow. Bonds can be worthless tomorrow. Stocks can be worthless tomorrow. Hell, most of your stocks that are going for big money, there's no solid assets or hard things backing them. How much is back in Amazon? What's back in Facebook? A couple desks in a rented building? Think about it. It's worth nothing when all this happens. And all your retirement and all the money in the bank and all the things you work so hard in your pension all goes away in a poof, in a poof. And God forbid you owe money on the real things you do have. How you gonna pay all that back? How you gonna pay all that back? They're gonna give you a solution for that too. Remember that? Remember, you'll own nothing and you'll like it. You'll be happy. Why don't we believe people in power and politicians when they say things? Why don't we believe them? They say it. They tell us plain as day, but we don't believe them. Why not? Too crazy? A couple of years ago, I was too crazy. Now, I don't think too crazy. Nothing would surprise me now. Anyhow, enough of that rant. Something to think about. Hope that made your week. I don't know, guys, gals. I don't know. All right, let's get back in the chat here. And if I get time, we'll go through the reloading press and we'll go from there. Picked up the Krebs tool. Should be at my door in a few days. So they were back in stock. Good to hear. It's good to have. I found it super nice for the gas tubes that were real tough ones or new. Even the easy ones, it just, God, that 4 inches of leverage is so much more than that tiny bit of leverage that it's like, wow, is this thing broken? But the real one is that lower one. Just when you put it back together, if you lower it to an angle where you can slide that slot in, you are going to be the happiest person in the world taking apart and putting back together your AK. And you're not going to scratch it. You're not going to goof things up. It's going to go so easy. What a great little tool. Ingenious. Rock Island makes a good 1912 to go spec for not much money. I say pick up what's in the budget, David. RA makes a decent 1911. I bought a 1911 Rock Island, the basic GI special, the cheapest one they make, 400, 399, 450, something like that. It is as smooth and magnificent as some of my best SIGs, and I like it better than my Kimber. How's that sound? The only thing I don't like is the beaver tail on it. It's too pointy, cuts in. But other than that, and I bought it to go along to show like on display with my Garand. I thought it'd be cool. Love it. What a great gun. Made in the Philippines, and Filipinos know how to make 1911s. They really do. They're some of the best in the world. I had a lineman deer stalker, 54 caliber flintlock, and my dad had an old Thompson Center Hawken 50 cal. Hunting deer in a snowstorm was always very challenging. Great memories and the old with the old man. That's what it's all about. And think about hunting with a flintlock, even a light drizzle or a very humid day or wet day. It may or may not go off. Will that deer stick around long enough for the second click? I don't know. Makes you a very good hunter and you pick your choices, right? I love Hawkins. Thompson Center was the last company to mass produce those Hawkins, and they were beautiful. I would love to find a Hawken in the box brand new from them, but I may enlist one of the really true craftsman makers of black powder rifles. I don't know who they are even, but I can do a little research and find out and have a beautiful one built. A Kentucky long rifle would be really cool too, with that flamed out maple and everything. Those stocks are so delicate. There's a really cool video series. It's a town in Virginia. They do the 1700s reenactments there, and it's the whatever that town is, the whatever town gunsmith, and they show them in their shop making the stocks, the locks, the barrels, the everything, and how delicate those stocks are. They essentially just wrap the barrel, right? They're so thin, so light, and it's amazing how they cut the rifling and all. What a cool series to watch on YouTube. Check it out. Really, really cool. I'm going to buzz through these comments quick because there's so many I got to get through. Firearms in general are a work of art. I agree. No one, number one, Big Bear. Just tell government you have an art gallery. Well, hey, I wonder if you could get historical collection or something like that. Told her she has to wait until she's 7. What was this? David Inglesby. Rock, how old until I get my kids out to the range? I have 2 girls, 5 and 7. 7-year-old hates gun stuff. 5-year-old wants to go shooting with her daddy. Take her shooting now. They are not too young. You train them on a 22. You sit with them. You hold it with them. You do all those things. You do safety first. You teach them about it first. They're much smarter than you give them credit for. Kids can do way, way, way more than parents would ever imagine. I remember telling people what my son used to do on a motorcycle at age 4. At age 4, he could fly that motorcycle through the air at 45, 50 miles an hour, 75, and land it perfectly and ride it out and hammer a corner full throttle and stop it if he needed to. The skills you can teach these children are incredible. And I'm not talking, like, oh my God, on the edge of life or death. No, I mean understanding brake pressure and what needed to be applied to get it to fly right and all these things. All I need to do is show you a video and you'll be like, and this is not a thing where it's some prodigy like the kid playing the piano. No. Yeah, sure. Some better than others. Some just won't do it. There's fear. There's whatever. Fear is a good thing. But when it comes to something like that, by all means, they have the gross and the fine motor skills to do all of it. That crap about fine motor skills not being developed, and that's a bunch of hooey. When you see a 4-year-old controlling throttle, brake, clutch like a master at 4 years old, you go to one 4-year-old motocross race anywhere in the country. even amateur, and you'll see the top 3, 4 kids, and your jaw will hit the ground. Your jaw will hit the ground. They can do it. Take her out, teach her, get her a cricket, get her him. I don't know if it was a him or her. A single shot preferably would be great, or load one at a time, and just teach them. You just at that age though, you have to be extremely careful that you don't freak out, because it can't come to a moment where you're screaming no. You can't get to that. You understand? Because no, or even loud speak regarding any of it, will scare them and ruin it forever for them. So it can't ever get to that. That's, you have to be laser focused so it doesn't get to that. So it's okay, do this a little more, a little less. Good job. Great job. Keep going. That kind of thing. Okay, slow it down a bit. Okay, back up from this. Not no. You can't do that. You will, trust me, you will destroy them. I maybe I should write a book. I became an expert on it over the years, watching my child, teaching all of them racing, and watching others do it the wrong way, making mistakes myself. It's just, that's as in a nutshell as I can tell you. Don't get to the no or freak out point. You have to be in control of it and not relinquish any of that control until there's absolutely no chance of them getting to that point without you right there in control. And that's whether it's throttle control on a motorcycle or trigger control on a gun, all the same. Just, you're not shooting that day, Dad. If you are, yours is the only firearm out, and they are sitting implicitly watching you, and learning. And you're not just doing your shooting, you're teaching as you go. But that's how you do it. Don't be afraid to get them out now, right now. You'll be amazed at what they can do and understand. Absolutely amazed. They can do 10, they can do 50 times what you think they can do. Had you told me what he could do at 4, I would have never in a million years believed you. I don't think I still believe it today sometimes. Just to watch videos, it's just absolutely incredible. But they can do it. They can all do it. It's just you got to find what they can do. And all of them will do all of it at some amazing level you can't even think they can get to. Yeah, they're not all just sitting there eating their boogers and doing finger paints and crapping in their pants. Liberal parents today would like you to believe that, but yet they all try, let's play music, put a radio up to the womb. Shut up. How about doing something constructive? It's unbelievable. Teach them, get them out there. Never too early. And the level of competition at those early levels is crazy. And I'm not saying make it a competition. If I could, I probably would stay away from it. That being said, if you're going to compete at anything, somebody asked me to do a father video after my son passed away of what I would change, what I would do, how I did this, that. And I throw little tidbits here and there. You learn a lot because you make a lot of mistakes. If I could do it over again right now, my God, I can't imagine what these kids could do or be, simply because you control it. You control the narrative, right? And the learning and everything else. But they got to learn from you, not from someone else, at least until the point where you have given them everything you can, and you're not 100% solid in your knowledge going past that point. Then you turn it over to somebody, but it's got to be the right somebody. And again, you're in control. But that being said, competing is a very good thing. It just has to be done with the right attitude. I'm not telling you do it where everybody gets a trophy, but I'm telling you, you can't you always have to be positive. There can be talk about what went wrong or what's going wrong, but you're never upset. You're never disappointed. It's just moving forward. And how do we get there? You bring any disappointment into it, you make it work for them, or you uh, ask them to do too much, let them go at their own speed. It may not be what you want. Internally, it may be very disappointing because you've set goals and they're not there when you think they should be. Don't ever show that to them. Ever, ever, ever. Just they're going at their pace. And when the disappointments happen on their end where they're disappointed, explain it. And it's okay to be disappointed. That's that feeling. Usually someone's disappointed when either uh, um, expectations have been set too high, either by the parent, sometimes by the child. But if the child, if you were there again to control the narrative and set realistic goals and expectations, there may be some disappointment, and that's good, but there won't be overwhelming disappointment. And you never showed it. You're the person driving and coaching and driving that motivation and keeping those expectations real, manageable, achievable, with lots of good work and habits and all of that. It's a fine line you got to walk, really fine line, because you can destroy an ego, motivation, everything quicker than you would ever think. Slip once and see what happens. Even if you're lucky, you'll get to clean up the mess and try over again, but it's not one step forward, two steps back. It was one step forward and 30 steps back. So very careful. Think before you speak. Think a long time before you speak. Then think ahead and plan, and be very level-headed. And don't turn into one of these parents. Just please don't. You'll destroy a kid. And at that point, then you would have been better off not doing it at all, because you hurt them much worse than you helped them. Just be careful. Do what you know best, and you'll be fine. Promise you. Okay, there's my whatever for the day. Let's see. He looked terrified. Who looked terrified? Oh, yeah, I did. I thought the handshake with a ghost was. Man, he looks so bad, guys. That stuff in the news where everyone was paying attention to the former and not him, and walking around looking like a lost soul. My God, just so sad. How his family allows that to happen is beyond me. I'm going to skip a bunch of comments. I got to get ahead here. Anyone get any Kalashnikovs? That's funny. Yeah, I know, guys. Coffee and Kalashnikovs, very little with Kalashnikovs. So let's talk. I started talking about the video. Got the Krebs all ready to go. Got the ammo ready. And the weather here has slowed us down so much. We haven't had one nice day. It's so cold. The wind has been unbelievable. It's not even worth burning the ammo because I won't get any real truth out of it. That being said, I started telling you the guns that were out here and how happy I was to be able to shoot them and do them. What you did see on camera, I had so much fun this last week. We were shooting the Krebs gun. I was shooting some of the Yugos, the Vepr, and just amazed at how fabulous these things are. We got to do a Vepr video because, my God, those are fine guns. Got to get a couple optics too. We ran into an optic problem with the Krebs. I kept telling you I switched rifles because I thought how accurate that gun had always been. And then when in the By 39 project, it wasn't accurate at all. It was horrible. And I thought, it's not the gun. I couldn't have shot out the barrel. I didn't know what was up, but I switched. And then I thought, this thing hasn't had a real good scrub down cleanup in a long time. And I put a lot of rounds through that gun, a lot of rounds. And while it's clean, I'll clean the barrel, I'll clean out the inside of the uh, receiver and the trunnion there and everything and keep everything working. It doesn't get that good scrub down because it's got all that Zinitco furniture all over it. And I'll tell you right now, so a lot of guys ask me about Zinitco and what do you think and this and that. I thought like you do right now because you don't have any and you're just starting your collection. You see all this, oh, I got to have it. It's Russian. And look at how cool that is. And Spetsnaz uses it. And it ain't all what it's cracked up to be. It's quality stuff. That full, I'm looking at it. That's why I'm looking away from the camera right now. It's tough as nails. It's rails, quad rails everywhere. It weighs a ton. That's the bad thing. The downside is it takes your nice light stamped gun and turns it into a boat anchor. That being said, you'll use it and get used to it and like it. And it definitely stiffens up the front end and it toughens it up. There ain't nothing going to happen to a gun up front with that thing on there. But it's a pain because it's bolted together. The good news is you can take 2 bolts out on the back, back toward the sight block, and then it'll pivot on the front one. So you can get your gas tube out and clean everything. They most take filing or some metal work to make fit. They're made that way on purpose. So they can be hand fit and be ultra tight. I'm not telling you to hammer one into a stamp receiver because you might just crack it. But it should take some decent tapping with a plastic mallet to get it in there. But it's going to take some filing work to drive those Zinitcos in there properly. You'll also find out real quick if your sight block is canted or anything, because when you look at it, your sight block might be over here and you go, oh crap, something's wrong. I did something wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. You just didn't notice the cant as bad as when it's staring you in the face because you got a parallel line on each side of it for once that you can really eyeball easily without getting all the crap out that we do. I don't know if any of you have went nuts over that like I have, where you put it on a level, hard surface like glass and you got T-squares out and all kinds of stuff, and you're checking how far out it is, and you're drilling pins and straightening, and yeah. If you're into AKs at a big level, you'll be there one day, guys, trust me, and it'll drive you nuts. And then one day you snap out of it and go, well, what am I worried about? The thing works fabulously just the way it is. And that's why they make driftable sights, and that's why I have an optic on it, and it really doesn't matter. And it'll still bug you occasionally, but you'll get over it. Anyways, that Zinitco stuff is nice. I have not run the grip or the charging handle knob and all that garbage. Why do you want to put something on your charging handle that has even the remote possibility of slipping off and is with a set screw? There's nothing wrong with the charging handle. Well, what if it's wet and muddy and there's blood all over it? Well, guys, you're going to be able to grab the charging handle just fine. They're stocks, nice stocks. No matter how good, they'll develop a little bit of wear after a while. Yes, you can replace some parts of them. The anodizing is crap. The cheek piece, in my opinion, is designed wrong. It's curved on the one side, straight edge on the other. It's set on the gun where the straight edge hits your cheek if you're righty, and it curves off this way. To a Russian or half the world, that may be correct. To me, an American that loves AKs, it's not correct. Yes, it can be flipped around by taking the bolts out and flipping it around. But then that curve, since you're not up against the straight, that curve allows your cheek to meet the curve farther to the right, and now you're not in line with the dead center of that receiver anymore. You're way right. Totally, if you're running any type of scope or tubular optic, or sights for that matter, you're way off. It doesn't work. I'm not saying it's uncomfortable. It's one of those things that looks like it should be the other way. The screws in them are okay. Be very, very careful with the Allen wrenches you pick to work on them. Do not use cheap Chinese Allen wrenches ever. Take your Harbor Freight sets and the ones that you bought at the hardware store and all the free ones that came with crap you were putting together and throw them in the garbage. Go buy yourself a really good set. And I'm not talking brown L's because half of that stuff comes out of China too. Go buy yourself a Snap-on set or just a top of the line, American made, American heat treated set. Okay. Because they'll be slightly off. They will flex too much. The heat treat won't be enough. They'll be softer than the bolt. And you'll end up screwing them up. And they're tiny, tiny, tiny. Buy a good set and you'll be happy. If not, God help you. You'll be drilling or something. Anyhow, so I'm checking it out. First thing I do is pull the optic off. And I'm like, what the heck is this? And the front scope ring is just weird and it's a little loose. And I'm like, here we go. So I start taking them out and the back one comes off fine. The front one's just turning. The main mount of the ring, that pick rail. And somebody said, if you saw the video, the through bolt, once it passes through the pick rail, is bent down like this. You couldn't notice it because of the way it was in there. It added a little more bend when I was taking it off, but not much. It was, the bolt head was moving like this. It was the kind that has the big 1/2 inch nut on there, with also a big slot for a big screwdriver. But it was put on with a torque wrench and everything. I always torque them. That being said, I'm like, how could this have gotten bent like that? And then I remembered leaning the rifle. It fell twice. Once was in this room right here. I leaned it up against the safe while I was doing something, and I heard my cousin gasp, and it went on the concrete floor, bam, right off that side of the scope. And I got a feeling it didn't put a mark on the gun, a mark on the scope, but I didn't notice that bolt being bent down. I think it hit right on the bolt head and bent it over to the side. And then it fell another time. We were out shooting, running a course, and I tripped and it went to the ground and the gun went on that side. And I had the pistol grip like this, safety on, and I hit the ground like that with the rifle. And yeah, could have happened then too. Either way, it bent the snot out of it, and that caused it to loosen because it was out of the pick rail kind of. Anyways, long story short, that's probably what was causing the issues. And I kept having to readjust my clicks and everything, and it was horrible. And that's when I went to the Yugo. Well, now that everything's cleaned, minted out, all back, brand new. I wish I could show it to you right now. I did have to I thought I was going shooting that next morning till the wind happened. So all they had were Weaver rail scope mounts. Now, for those of you that don't know, Weaver rail versus Picatinny rail. Picatinny rail is standardized more so than Weaver rail is. Also, the slots between it, like in a pick rail, the slots going across. On a pick rail, they are larger slots than on a Weaver rail. So you can use a Weaver mount on a pick rail. You can't use a pick mount on a Weaver rail. They're too big. They won't fit in the slots. When you put the Weaver rings on a pick rail, there's movement between it. So you'll set it on there and it'll go chunk, 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 chunk. Not perfect, but think of it: gun, recoil, scope, inertia. It's going the opposite way. So anytime you put any accessory on your gun, make sure before you tighten it, you push it all the way forward and tighten it in that position, and it'll stay. If you put it toward the back, once you start shooting, that thing's going to work its way forward. It may or may not stay tight at that point. So push it all the way forward, tighten it. Not the perfect setup, but it'll certainly do for now till I get a really good set of rings. Those were cheap rings to get by for now. They were $40, $50 rings, which is junk. Rings don't get good till you're well over $100, and in most cases approaching $300. And probably just as important, if not more important, than the scope itself. Anyhow, they'll do for now till I get there and can get a new set that I want. Doing a little research right now on that. So that's what that video was about. Is your AK unbreakable? Yep, my AK is unbreakable, but the accessories on it are not. So what does that do? It's the weak link thing, right? That gun was, it would shoot okay, but it could be as bad as a 10-inch group. Yeah, in a pinch it would have done its job, but it would have done a better job ripping the scope off, lowering my cheek weld down, and using irons. So make sure whatever you're putting on that gun. A lot of times we like to rush projects. We spend all the money we saved on the gun and the accessories we want. Oh, you want to finish it. You want it to look cool. You want this, you want that. So we start compromising, or we say, well, that piece is $300 and that one looks exactly like it, but it's $600. They're just gouging me. Most of the time they're not, guys. It's the material that costs more, and it costs more to machine because it wears out tools faster or breaks tools or is harder to machine or takes longer because you got to go slower. There's a reason for it. And depending what your end use for the gun is, you may or may not want to spend that money. Is it a range toy plinker? Fine. Get by with the cheap stuff. Is it that one rifle you're going to bet your life and your family's life on, and it's going to be there when and if the stuff really hits the fan? Then you better wait and you better buy the good stuff or buy the cheap stuff for now, but do not fall off track of getting the stuff you need for it. It's like mags sometimes. I've told you guys all the time that Tapco mags are just fine. I've never broken one. Well, it's never been bounced down a cliff either. Is that going to happen at the range? Probably not. Is it going to happen sometime when it needs to? Maybe. How far do you want to plan? There's a reason original AK mags were made out of steel. Sure, they dent. Sure, they're completely useless once they do, but they're a hell of a lot harder to dent than crack a plastic mag. And their feed lips sure as hell aren't going to give out, even when a steel lip could rip out of a polymer or something. Now, good polymer is good polymer. If militaries are using it, you can pretty much definitely count on it and use it and be confident in what it'll do. If militaries are not using the particular item you feel you want to put on your rifle, then you may be okay with that, or you may want to reevaluate the situation depending what your final use is going to be, no matter how remote that instance may seem, because at some point it may happen. So it's up to you, guys. It's up to you. It's your right. You want. I'm just telling you what I've found throughout. And let's face it, if I was going to grab a gun and run and it was going to be an AK, it was probably going to be that Krebs rifle, right? Yeah. Especially seeing as it's an arsenal, topped off with everything Krebs knows how to do, topped off with every other part on it used by a military, namely the Russian. And then I went and threw a cheap junk Chinese rings on it made for airsoft. Not too bright. Actually, they weren't the cheapies. They were primary arms. And for the most part, I like primary arms. But let's just face it. It does what it does very well. But at the end of the day, there's a reason they're let's say their 3x prism scope is $299 or $399 versus an ACOG at $1,200 or $1,500, right? There's a reason. Just as good. Just as good. Don't worry about it. It's all dependent upon the use or what you think. Is it your go-to rifle? Spend the money. The rest, you can shoot at the range, shooting a 3-gun competition, whatever. Fine. Do what you want. If it's going to save your life one day, it better be the right stuff. Comments. I'm sorry. I'm going through. I'm drinking a second hot Salada green tea. What the hell is that, Squeak? Lagging bad. I'm sorry. All day's been lagging bad. Same dropping out. That must have been the bad lag in there. Just scored 1,000 Golden Tiger 7.62 by 39. Martin Co. Way to go. Best ammo on the planet for your AK. If any of you are new here and want to know what ammo to stockpile for your AK, there is none better on the planet than Golden Tiger. Also used to be known, some not recent, but in the not so distant past, a lot of Red Army standard was Golden Tiger. If you see purple sealant on it, that's Golden Tiger. Take one apart, you'll find a boat tail bullet. None other runs boat tail bullets than Golden Tiger. Century had a contract with that ammo. They boxed it up as Red Army for a long time. Contract has changed. It is no longer Golden Tiger. So check it out. Yeah, goodbye. What'd you pay for it? It doesn't say. Maybe it does later. Let's see. Alan Bishop. He got his rounds on 1,000 rounds of Barnoul. Good ammo, too. Very accurate. And 200 rounds of PMC. PMC is good ammo, too. You know where it's made? Korea. Good ammo. Let's see. Thinking of getting 4 pieces of Red Army 7.62. Buy 39 ammo is 38 cents a round. It's come down from where it was. I try and stock 1,000 a month. Absolutely. I remember when it was 19 cents a round. Well, I remember when it was a lot less than that, but getting an airsoft M4. I just can't afford the ammo to shoot real steel. Yes, you can. Reload it. Let's see. We talked about the 1301. Any of you guys, other guys looking for one? Grab a 1301. Great thing. Chase Kelly bought my P320 from Quantico Tactical years ago at the mills before they changed to Proven Arms. What a great gun, the 320. Got mine sitting right. You can almost see it. That would be a no-no. Great gun. That's what I strap on when it gets real. One thing Cool did was get all of those starter guns I was buying, found good homes for them to people in need, and I upgraded. Why? What do you do with starter guns? Martin Co. again. Thanks for the super chat. 308 Century set me at my local gun shop. Yeah, those 308, the Century set me's weren't bad guns. Getting a WBP Polish AK, great AK. Speaking of Russian SKS, how much would you say a fair price is right now? A Russian SKS in really good shape, 800 is a good price. I think you'd probably see some in the 1,000 range. Wasn't too long ago, they were 6, but 8 will get you in the game, I think. I'm Ontario M7 must be talking about Bayos. You're selling. I feel like I abuse my knives too much. You got your abuse knives and then you get your pretty knives. That's just a plaything on the side. I got into it for a while and went bananas, but not a lot of expensive stuff really. So that was cool. So I'm making sure my folks. Okay. Just ordered a 1,000 round box of Arsenal for $405, including shipping. No taxes. Others were selling $425. Hattori Hanzo. What was the Arsenal ammo? I saw it. I didn't look to see what it was. I didn't look that close because the price I saw was nuts. So that's how I have to do it now. I have way too much money. It'll cost money. Sorry, guys. I'm scanning real quick. I'll slow down when I get to the good ones. People don't care about their rights. Cheap gas, beer, football, hot wings, smartphones, big screen TVs, and Xboxes, right? Affordable pickups. There are no affordable pickups. I bought one that I consider sort of entry level, doesn't have leather, and the list on it was, if I remember, between 60 and 70 grand. That's insanity. Think about it now. Thank God my employee pricing and all that crap. I can sell it for, well, now it doesn't matter. Everything crazy. Sell it for more than the list. What do you buy then? Got a bunch of 12 gauge bag shells at an auction. Cool. One benefit of the stimulus was the government funding guns and ammo purchases. Yes, it was. And a ton of people used it for that too. Oh, it jumped on me all the way down. All right. Let's see. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I got through a lot of it. There's the Russian SKS one. There's the Arsenal ammo. There's the 12 gauge. If you don't like how the AR-15 charges, try a side charger. Yeah. Every time. My stimulus was about $76 each time. You did better than me. I got zero. Not on the site. I sent an email tonight asking when it would be available. Someone on here said they got it, so he must have had them on for a little while. I'm rolling out, guys. Alan's out. Had been out. I'm sorry. This went a long time, but I'm making up for last week. I missed the Chinese spam can days. Yeah, no kidding. I have some sealed up crates I haven't even opened. Those are in a undisclosed separate location. Guys, once you got enough, you got to separate. Got to separate. One place is not enough. I'm still sitting on 500 rounds Chinese ammo. Yeah, the copper wash, something cool about it, ain't it? And it runs so good. Chases out. I'm stock for 16 bucks. What? Make it out to Dam Road. Jack Wright, make it out to Dam Road Gun Shop at Elkhorn Gun Barrel. No, I have not. I got to get up there. Not this week, maybe the following one. I heard it's very, very small. I was not too far from there last week before. I got down that way, and somebody at the FFL I was at was talking about it, and I overheard them say how small it was. And I do believe they said something about ammo prices there. And I can't remember if it was good or bad. I've hated the political office for a long time. Back in my day, Flint Locks, they had a way to water resist the frizzen and pan with grease right along that seam. Yeah, they'd seal it. Okay. Thing is, though, if you get oil on that frizzen, it won't spark, I believe. But I washed mine down with a 10-to-1 mixture of ballistol and water. That's how I clean them. And I blow off the water with a blowgun, and the oil dries behind. And I know while I try to avoid the frizzen, I know it gets on there. And it sparked the first time. not as great. Could have just been a bad hit, but second, third, fourth ones were just fine. So I don't know. Yeah, see, Joe went shooting when he was 4. Uh, don't file them, just hammer it. Trust me, it will be fine in the intended way from the company themselves. Depends on the gun. You can tell when it's going to be too tight. I have seen receivers metal moved by guys hammering on them with stuff that was way too big. And when I say file, it doesn't take much. Um, Usually, what most of the filing is not so much resizing as it is chamfering that front edge to where it's not hooking an edge of the receiver. Because I've seen guys do that. They've got it, they're looking at one side and they're pounding, and the other side hook the edge of the receiver and they push it back. So just chamfer them. That way you don't have to worry. Just take that little corner off so it drives in nice. That's all you usually have to do. I may have made it sound like you're in there grinding away. No, it takes very little because you can never put it back on, and those are very expensive to screw up. So be careful. 1, 2 swipes and go. And I'm not talking with a rasp file. I'm talking with diamond file, something very fine. Dead set against guns. Motorcycles was also a point of contention. You know what? Most people I know that were introduced to motorcycles early and guns early are really good, well-rounded people. Um, there are also people that don't call someone to fix stuff for them. They can do it themselves. They're very mechanically inclined. They're not afraid to take things apart to try to do something. It does so much for them, so much. Get them involved. What's the difference between an Arsenal 126 and 127 bayonet? I don't know which one is which. One is the newest modern version, and the other is back a ways. What's the actual physical difference? It may be handle material. I'm not positive on that one. I don't own an Arsenal bayonet. There's been several times I've come close where I've said, "Oh, I need to have at least 1 or 2," and I just haven't done it. Hasn't fallen in place. Whatever. Matter of fact, it's probably pretty much the only bayonets I don't have. It goes along with that SGL thing, you know. Orient said, it's easy to say just spend the money, but if the money isn't there, no, I get it. I get it. I get it. You do the best you can. And I think I went on to say, if it's $200 guns, it's 200. Hey, if it's no gun, it's no gun. We've all been there, all of us. And there's those times you need to pull back. And doesn't it always seem that those times are the times when you feel like you got to be making these moves? Like, if I don't do it now, it's going away forever. I'll never see another one. Or, God, I got to stockpile it now because I have to, because it's real serious and I can't. Those are the times we have to try to avoid. And those are the times you need to sometimes make a lesser decision when times are good, so you have some put away. Always keep something in that fund. I'll tell you right now, I'm in that position right now. Now, I am stockpiled enough, but you always feel like you should be adding. And right now, I just can't. I can't at all. I got thrown out of whack by that MP5 and a couple other things, and this reloader, which is still costing me money. I'm happy with it, but I'm not. I was really upset with the company, but they made right, which everyone said they would. Dillon is a great company. Um, And we're down in the tea thing, having a third cup. Okay. So we're almost 3 hours. I'm going to get this done in 9 minutes and we'll be out of here. Hopefully. I just want to talk about, so I got a Dylan XL 750. It's the new be all end all of theirs without going to the commercial one. And you think, well, I've been reloading for 20 years. And before that, if I consider my father, sorry, I keep wiggling. I got sunburned on my everywhere. My wife had a tanning package and she said I was looking so white. So I went and they said, do 15 minutes. Holy Christ. I am burnt to a crisp, but now it's itching like you wouldn't believe. Anyhow, so get this. I do a lot of research for years. I'm researching what to do on a progressive. If you've seen any reloading videos or my reloading bench, you'll all notice that it is solid green. Green as green could be. Everything I own is made by Big Green, RCBS, except for my tumbler, which is Lyman. And that's because my dad had a Lyman. Everything's green. Everything. Every die, every tool, every part, everything. But when it came to Dylan, somebody that I trust implicitly, my plant manager, told me, you got to go Dylan. They're the new be all end all. So I researched them and I bought in. Don't get me wrong. It's a great unit. The way they advertise it, they say they always show them with all the options, right? A case feeder, a bullet feeder, a tool rack with all the blue hex heads, and the bullet pan to hold your bullets here, and the big mount, and the roller bearing handle, and all this extra crap, right? And wow, look at that machine, man. And they make it clear that a lot of it's options. And they even say shown with extra cost options, and they list them. And they say specifically in there, dies are an option. Okay, get it. Handle's an option. Bullet feeder's an option. Case feeder's an option. A couple of things I don't agree with, but it's their decision. The bullet tray is an option. You have a die-cast powder-coated bullet tray that hangs on there to put bullets right where you're going to put them in, right? Really? You couldn't make the bullet tray a standard option. It's the little things like that bug me. Mounting hardware. You've got 4 1/4-inch holes, and it says you not provided. Great. Shouldn't you provide 4 bolts that are made, flat top for the unit? It's hard sometimes to find non-standard hardware, right? I went and got normal nuts and bolts and fender washers like I use, but you see the ones they have that they sell, and it's like, wow. And I bought a few presses that did include them, and I thought it was nice. For a couple dollars, Christ, you're paying $700 for this press without dies, and come to find out, a lot of other necessary things. So everywhere you see it, it's advertised at $6.99, including their website. They list what's optional, those things I said. They list dies, big words, dies are optional. Then they say what is included. All the different things. One thing in particular says comes with 1 caliber conversion kit. Says it on the carton, on the box, big letters. Says it on the website. Says it in the manual. There's even a spot for the caliber case conversion case in the carton it comes in. And on that carton it says includes 1 caliber conversion. When you go on their website, you go to that press and you pick the Dylan press you want. This case was the XL 750. Before you can check out, there's a drop-down menu that lists all the calibers. All it says is caliber, in my case, 223. Then in parentheses, it has whatever it was, $114 or whatever. Well, since they state everywhere that dies are not included, they do state caliber conversion kit is included. When you see a caliber as an addition, what would your mind think? Oh, that must be the dies that aren't included. $114, right? Keep in mind, $114 for, actually, no, it was $140, I think, for a set of rifle dies from Dillon. Any other company, RCBS, I own a million of their dies, and as long as they're not carbide, they are anywhere from $38 to $45. So $100 more for Dillon dies. Now, that being said, Dillon dies that comes with one more die. They separate their bullet seating and crimping dies. Is that worth it? I don't know. Looking at their dies, RCBS, our dies are finished nicer, in my opinion. Machined nicer, in my opinion. These are by no means a slouch. Dillon dies also have built into them a stuck case remover, which is nice, especially on 223, because every case I've ever stuck, with one exception, I think, has been a 223 case for whatever reason. So that's kind of cool, but okay, bullet stuck case remover from our CBS is like 12 or 14 bucks or 20 bucks, somewhere in there. Anyhow, so that drop down comes down, you figure, okay, it says dies aren't included. It says a case conversion, caliber conversion kit is included. That must be the dies, right? I don't know, because I didn't order it off of their site. My cousin called me from Iowa on FaceTime and said, guess what I just found? Because these presses have been either sold out or on back order with week and week waits. So I check here and there to see if they were available, and they weren't. But he's at the sporting goods store in Iowa, and he's got his phone. He says, look what I got. And there's 3 XL 750 presses, the boxes there on the shelf. And I said, hold on. Normally I'd just give him my credit card I use for things for this channel and whatnot. However, it was bone dry. So it was like, hold on, don't leave that store. Grab one, put it in a cart. Don't let it out of your sight. I'll call you back in 5 minutes. I'm feverishly dialing my wife. Honey, please, I have to. What about your account? It's blah, blah, blah. I bought that other thing. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Boom. I call him. I said, here, I'm giving you a credit card number. Walk up to the counter with me. I'll give him. So he walks up there. I give it. Everything's done. I said, now all I need to run this press is a set of dies, right? And he said, the guy there says, yep, that's all you need. I said, okay, you got the Dillon dies? He says, which ones? I said, 223. He says, let me check. He says, but I said, I got RCBS dies. He said, you can use those. I said, well, I'd kind of like to have the RCBS because they're made by the same company. Who knows? I'm just like that. I want the same. I figure they might work better. They might this, they might whatever. Yep, got them. Okay, adds them on there. They happen to be the same price as the drop-down menu thing on the Dillon site. So I am so excited. I can't believe it. I've been wanting one for 3 years. I've done the research. I've got an XL 750 and a set of dies coming. And I asked my cousin, I said, so you coming out shooting on this week? And he said, I can't. I got this. Oh, that means I can't really make an excuse to drive 4 hours round trip to go pick up my press, So I patiently wait another week and a half. And he originally said he'd bring it out on Easter. Well, he brought it out the week before he went shooting. So I got it home, and I had some things going on. I was patient. I opened the box. I looked through everything. I didn't happen to notice that I just didn't notice it at that time, but there's so much, you're like, oh, look at this and this and this and this. Here's all the stuff, right? Here's the unboxing thing of everything yet and everything. There's a million more parts in here and in here and in here and all this stuff, right? And it says, get ready to reload. It's easy to assemble your new press. And it shows everything that's included and the unboxing and pulling all the parts out layer by layer. See, there's the case conversion they show you right there. Yeah, well, mine was empty. But yet, on this big carton, they don't show you the side of it, I guess. Oh, no, they show a brown box, but on the one at the sporting goods store, it's all emblazoned, with all the typical pictures and stuff. And right on the box says, includes caliber conversion kit. So I go to put it together, and I start putting it together, and I get to a point where it says, get caliber conversion kit out of the box. Or it says, included with your set is an empty caliber conversion box and caliber conversion kit shipped separately. What? Then where you're going to put the caliber conversion set, there's a few parts to bolt part of that set up with, and there's a big label on there that says stop. Caliber conversion set is shipped separately. I think shipped separately. Do I got to call a number to register my product and then they ship it? Were they supposed to give me another set at the sporting goods store and forgot? I wasn't there. Do I call an 800 number, tell them what caliber I want, and they send it? What's going on? I'm reading everywhere, and there's nothing. It says included everywhere except the one thing that says ship separately, which is inside the box, right? And on a sticker on top of the plate. I'm thinking maybe it's like back ordered stuff, which they say everywhere, back ordered parts may not include this, whatever, on different products. But so I'm like, what the heck? Then I'm thinking, wait, I could swear I saw this in the main box. I must have taken it out the other night, set it somewhere in the garage. I can't find it. I spent 2 hours tearing apart my garage, looking everywhere. Did I take it down to the office? Did I take it down to the gun vault? Did I take it? I'm looking everywhere for this goddamn thing, right? I can't find it. I resigned myself that it didn't come with it. I call Dylan Monday morning, and I said, hey, I got a problem. I just got your new reloading press, and I'm going through it, and I got it halfway together, and my caliber conversion kit isn't in there. Oh, well, we don't include that anymore. I said, but it says on the box it's included. And it says in the manual it's included. And it says ship separately, some new sticker you obviously put on the press. And it says, well, yeah, it's shipped separately. I said, are you telling me there's a cost to it? Well, yes, sir. Yeah, there's an extra cost. I said, so that's something new? Oh, yeah, kind of, but not. Yeah, it's an extra when you buy it. You have to pay extra for it. And where do you say that? And she says, well, on the drop-down menu. It says right there, the calibers and then the cost. I said, it says above there, included. The only thing not included is the dies. On the drop down, you list the caliber. You don't say if it's a die or a conversion kit, but it just happens to be the same price as your dies. So you're telling me the caliber conversion set for these couple pieces of plastic and stamped metal is the same price as dies, and it's extra when you say included everywhere? Yes, sir. So what are you going to do about this? Well, I can take your order, sir. I said, no, you can't. As a matter of fact, I'm taking your press back. I was hot. I just spent $700 plus a set of dies, $850 plus tax. It had to wait 3 years and get it 2 states away, go through all this trauma, and for a couple measly parts, you know what's in this thing? A stamped metal ring, a piece of plastic tubing about that long, a little aluminum nut that screws in, another piece of plastic about that big, and I'm trying to think what else. I think that's about it, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look here. I'll tell you in a second. I think they show what's in the kit. Yeah, here's the piece of plastic tubing, that bright red thing right there. 2-inch plastic tubing. And I'm pretty sure that's it, really. Oh, and 3 brass pins. Little brass pins about that long. For $114, $140, whatever it was. And you say it's included. I'm hot. And this girl gives me no satisfaction whatsoever. And I'm thinking, you know, everybody told me what a great company this Dillon is, but they've misstated the facts in print 4 times. And now they're not even willing to say, yeah, I can see how it's kind of misleading, or I see how you could see it that way. Let me tell you something. As an experienced reloader that knows what it takes to reload, it's not like it would be misunderstood by maybe one guy out of 100. No, I think it would be misunderstood by 99 people out of 100. And I'd have no problem paying the extra had it just been told to me up front. But yet I've budgeted for this thing. I've thought about buying. I've in my mind made the decision. I told my wife what it was going to cost, this and that, I went bent over backwards to get this thing when I could have got other products for less that had more, frankly. And now you're going to make me pay that. I get off the phone with her and I'm seething, right? And I'm thinking, I told her I'm taking this thing back to the store, but what am I going to get? I mean, I've made the decision that this is the best press there is to get. Yeah, there's others that are close, maybe better. I don't know. But all right, I'm not taking it back. What am I going to do about this? I'm going to buy this set, I guess. But it's just not sitting right with me. So I send off an email. And it says, we may not respond for a couple weeks because of how back ordered we are, this, that. Okay, no big deal. I shoot off the email, and never, ever, not once, ever, when talking to a company that doesn't know me, have I ever in my email said anything about a channel or YouTube or anything like that. Not once have I ever done that, trying to influence someone or something. And this time I'm so pissed. I thought, I don't say anything, like, because I was planning to review this and get a bunch of videos out of it. And you know me, there's 1, maybe 2 videos where I knock a product on here. And the reason I knocked it, or the reason you don't see those videos, is not that I'm some sort of shill or something, but I do so much research beforehand and or physically hands-on try something that I know I'm going to like it, that I know it functions well. And in the rare event that it doesn't live up to what I thought it was going to be, I usually get it to work how I thought it should. And I may say something about it, but I certainly don't bash them, with the rare exception of 2. And that's that Mossberg 590. I said my feel. I still didn't bash them. I just said I think it's a QC issue, and that they could do more to rectify it than just send free parts. They could change the parts so it doesn't happen and they don't have to rectify it. And in the case of the Kimber Micro 9, that thing just had so many damn problems, but I still said, I'm sure Kimber's going to make it right. I just have not sent it back yet. And I don't even know if I've done a video saying that. I had a video, I didn't post it because of that. I was going to let them make it right first, or at least try. But this one had me so upset because I know people that have them, that love them, that say they're the best. I've seen their ammo. I've run their presses. Um, I've heard all the great stories about Dylan taking care of things under warranty and all this. That the no BS warranty. It breaks, call them. Parts are on the way. And I've had that verified by several people multiple times. So when I get nothing but just, nope, sorry, sir, that's just how it is. I get it. Maybe people are having a bad morning, whatever. I don't know. Maybe my attitude came across as bad. I'll even give them that, because I was shocked at the time. But I fire off this email, and for the first time ever, I didn't say anything about reviewing it or anything. I didn't say anything at all about the channel. When I signed it, I put my name, Rockford Ordnance Channel, and the address and my phone number. I did put Rockford Ordnance Channel. Why? I don't know if I even really thought about it. Really, I don't know. Maybe I was just upset. I don't know. But looking back, I don't know if I feel great about doing that, because I hadn't done it before. And I do feel that may influence somebody somehow. And I'm not looking for that influence. I'm looking for what a company really does, without having something hanging over them. And I don't think it actually makes someone want to do something. I know when people would do something like that to me with a customer satisfaction survey, well, I'm getting that survey and I know what it means to you, and I'm just going to hammer you guys. Well, when they said that, I'd tell them to go pound in that case. You're going to threaten me? Go pound. I don't care at that point. That person is exactly what I thought they were. But so I'm not that happy I did that. I don't think I should have. Do I think it changed the outcome? No, I don't think it did. Hopefully it didn't. I simply got an email back saying, so sorry to hear about your issue or misunderstanding. When I do a video, I'll read it to you guys. What we need to confirm is what caliber you're looking to load and a good mailing address for you, both of which were in the email. Or maybe it was confirm them. So I confirmed them. I explained a little further about why I thought it was not fair because of what they stated in plain English, in multiple places, and thanked him. And 2 days later, went over a weekend, I had the caliber conversion kit. I'm liking the press. It's not as easy to set up as they show in the videos and the instructions and all. Couple things. I shouldn't say that. Everything goes together straightforward for the most part until you get to assembling things into the tool head, like the dies and whatnot. The dies are fairly straightforward, but the powder charger and the linkage associated with it, in my opinion, is strange at best. And the powder, God, I can't remember the name. Powder measure is lesser quality than even some of the entry-level RCBS and stuff, manual ones. It's simply die cast. It's fairly rough. There's a lot of loose fitment to it in a way. Even after you tighten up certain things that I don't want to go into now. You'd have to be installing one to know what I'm talking about. And the linkage that should be straightforward and no binding kind of runs off to the side. Threads run through a bushing. So when the threads hit the bushing, it gets rough, and it's actually bending the rod to the side as it's cycling, which causes the powder measure head to snap sometimes. And I would think that would change the powder measure, the amount of power, the charge you're getting. And I thought it so wrong, and there wasn't much explanation anywhere about it, anywhere, that I dicked with it for several hours trying to figure out, do I bend this rod? I don't want to bend it. It's brand new in the box. Wasn't damaged. Could it have been off? I don't know. I'll talk to him when I can, but just doesn't seem right. That threw me off for, I sat and thought and did about it forever. And I've also got a problem with 2 out of 5, for every 5 cases that run through, 2 of the primers cock sideways and don't drive in after being chamfered with a military crimp remover and using a primer pocket uniformer on all of them. It still grabs the edge. There is some adjustment to it I haven't done, but it looks like it's centered in it. So I'm kind of unhappy about that, and I'm unhappy about the powder measure. Maybe it's just my OCD. I think it should be way smoother than it is. Again, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll call and see what their help is all about. I'm very grateful for them sending the caliber conversion. Maybe that's still got a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know. But you can certainly go get like a lock and load set, a Hornady with a bullet feeder for, I think, less money. Certainly less money than this press, plus the 400 and something for that. And then they don't make their own bullet feeder, or maybe it's a bullet feeder Hornady makes, I forget. I'll go through it in the video. But the bullet feeder is made by another company, and that's another 4 or 5 or 600. Then a tray and a couple other options, like the roller hand would be really nice. And let's see if there's a few other options here. Yeah. See, they show it like this, but it doesn't come with this. That's an option. Doesn't come with this. Doesn't come with this. Doesn't come with this tool tray back here. Doesn't come with this mount. A ton of stuff. It doesn't come with the low powder warning system. There's just a ton of things it doesn't come with. And they make that clear, all those things. But, you know, some of the stuff that should be standard, like that bullet tray, I mean, come on. And you can get a lot more from other companies. Are they as good? I don't know. They got to be pretty damn close, I would think. Are their warranties as good? Maybe not. But when you see 99.9% of these things in the wild with that stand on them and that bullet tray, I think the stand, the bullet tray, and the handle should be on there. If that handle's so great, why are they giving you the stick shift ball? And okay, that's not a big deal, but that bullet tray for sure. Anyhow, that caliber conversion thing, when it says it's with it, that should be with it, period. That I felt was just out and out wrong. But they did make it right at the end of the day, and it was there super fast. And I've loaded a few rounds with it. However, those there were already sized and primed. So I inserted them at station 2, I guess. Yeah. I inserted them at station 2 and ran them through there. They didn't go through the case drop or the sizing decapping. Because another thing, unlike RCBS dies, where RCBS says when you're setting your die, they tell you right where to set it, and it's on. It works. Here, the only way to know if it's set right is to buy a um, uh, loaded ammo checker to make sure you bump the shoulder back far enough, whatever. RCBS dies tell you how to set it to get the shoulder there, period. Now, could you measure it after that? Sure. But they tell you flat out, it doesn't need to, you're there. So really, I couldn't even reload still, even after the caliber conversion kit, because I didn't have the ammo checker, which I can get online for $9. It's not a deal of the price. It's something that cheap. Throw it in. When someone opens this box, there should be everything you need to run that press. I'm not saying reload, because obviously you got case prep and all of that. I'm not talking about that. But if you have your components and your dies, you should be able to run them through that press and create bullets within 2-3 hours. And you can't without ordering another set of stuff, a bullet checker. Everything else is there. At a minimum, forget the tray even. But that checker should be in there, and that caliber conversion chart should be in there. And of course, they tell you buy your dies. I don't know. When you advertise it as a reloading system assembly, reloading system, and tell you that everything's there for the basic reloading. It's not. Anyhow, that is 3.5 hours, guys. Holy cow. But hey, we went a little long because I didn't get you last week, and you won't get me next week. So what the heck? Let's see if you guys commented. What broke on the reloading press? Nothing broke. It was what wasn't included. Hell of a hassle. I'm out. Food remake nature stuff. False advertisement like no other. I was going to lug the whole box down here and show you guys right where it said it. Included. And I thought, I'm not lugging that big ass box down here. I know you guys would believe me. And I could show you in the manual. Well, here, it shows right there that the box is included. It says empty conversion kit box. That's what first I went, huh? Empty? What do you mean empty? You know? And then when they, I don't know if they show the contents of the conversion kit. No, they don't say whether. Oh, here we go. Right here. What's included? Case feed tube adapter. That's the red thing. Powder funnel. And locator buttons. Those were not included. They were not in it. They were in the conversion set. So, yeah. Tons of fun. Tons of fun. Tons of fun. Just looking here real quick. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and then they give you a cheap set of Allen wrenches, but they don't include the wrench for adjusting the powder measure, and the big end tightens down the dies. And let me tell you something. I was a mechanic by trade for years. I have a full set of Snap-on in my garage. Not one of my wrenches that size will fit those dies to tighten them down when all the dies or more than one die is in that head. An adjustable wrench won't fit in because of other things coming off the top. You can barely get a set of pliers in to tighten the rings. So why wouldn't you include that 25-cent stamped steel wrench? like they give you at IKEA to assemble shit. Just little things, little things. I mean, you're charging me $800 to begin with. My God, I'll pay another $15. Put it in there, Create, and then don't say it's included if it's not. That's my big ball buster of the day. Yeah, I don't know. Just not cool, not cool, not cool. For those of you who gave me super chats tonight, thank you so much. Guys, if you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, please hit the thumbs up. I appreciate you guys staying this long, listening to some dummy blabber about everything under the sun other than AKs today, and most nights, unfortunately. I hate to change the name. This is an AK channel. Most of the collection and things we do is surrounding that. But that topic is limited at times. But I promise you, we will do an all AK. When I get back, I got so much shit to do this week, and I'm traveling to this town an hour away and that town half an hour away. I'm just not going to be able to do it. Maybe I will this week if I find the time, but I got a feeling my time off, I'm going to be sleeping. Anyhow, I promise you when I get back, it'll be all AK and some AK videos too coming at you, some how-tos and some other good stuff. And we'll get on that because I know you guys like it and I know you're missing it. In the meantime, snap up those ammo deals while you can, guys. And stock some away. If you can find 80% receivers, grab some, put them away. I don't care if you got jigs or not. If you can find them at decent prices, you run across them, grab them, put them away. Promise you. What else? If you need braces, get your hands on some braces, put them away. All right. Keep everything going. Keep everything moving forward. Let me know about my proposed conspiracy theory. Let me know what you think. I don't know. Anyhow, sorry guys, my voice is going now. I've been talking so long, but I thought I owed it to you. I hope I didn't bore you too much. Thanks for everything as usual. Thanks for your concern over the dog. It's all appreciated, but we're all good. Whoever it was that won the other tool, please send me your address and all so I can get it out to you. Okay? And Martin, thanks for everything. Appreciate it, buddy. We will talk to you soon. I gotta go scratch my back like no other. The sunburn's killing me. All right. Have a good week. We'll see you ASAP. Thanks for everything. Please like, please subscribe if you haven't. Hit that thumbs up thing. Hit the bell. Make sure you are going to get notifications. And go watch some of our old videos. Enjoy them and put some comments on there. Ask some questions. If you guys ever need to get a hold of me, you can comment on just about any video. And I try to check comments every few days. And I'll answer. I try to answer all of them, especially if you're asking a question. If you're interested in some fun, go check out the Mossberg 590 video and read what's going on in the comments down there. I fired one back to a guy today. Jackass. Sometimes I try not to fall for it, but sometimes you just got to. I think you might get a kick out of it. Anyways, maybe you can chime in and give the old man a little help. Sometimes I can use some help over there when it comes to jackasses. Anyhow, thanks again, guys. Have a great week and get out and shoot. Take someone shooting and do something for the Second Amendment. Don't be that 99% that I don't think is going to do anything. Be the 1%. Get out there and do it. Love y'all. God bless you. Have a good one. Rockford Ordnance out.